Chapter 2199. Qinghuan, I understand your thoughts. You can't compare everything. There is only one night's sorrow in the world. Qinglin looked at his sister and said, I also understand what brother means. They are not bad, but I feel that there is a lack of feeling, or the aura and temperament are different. It's not that their temperament is not enough, I can't describe it. Qinghuan shook her head. Mo Yuqing, who was investigating all this, turned to look at Mo Yufan and Mo Feiying. A woman's intuition is very scary. Don't have any ideas about this Qinghuan. It's useless. You can't take her down at all. Mo Yuqing arranged two things, one on Qinglin and the other on Qinghuan. Now she found that it was useless to have any ideas about Qinghuan. This was also a woman's straightforwardness. This bitch still looks down on us. If it wasn't because we have to endure, we would teach her a lesson now and then share her with our brothers. Mo Feiying scolded. He had an impulse when he saw Qinghuan, but Qinghuan did not give him a chance. Don't mess around, lest new problems arise. Now that the plan has entered an important stage, we must be careful. After Qinglin and Qinghuan leave, except for the necessary members, the rest of the tribe will leave. We have to find another stronghold. Mo Yuqing said. Mo Yufan and Mo Feiying both nodded. They knew that Mo Yuqing had a backup plan. Even if Mo Xiaolon failed, the loss of the team would not be too great. Waving her hand, Mo Yuqing let Mo Feiying and Mo Feiqing make the arrangements. At the critical moment, she must be careful. After thinking for a moment, Mo Yuqing told Mo Xiaolon again. Mo Xiaolon withdrew from the state of cultivation and came to Qinglin's side. Qinglin, are you unhappy? How about this? Let's go to the chaos domain. After I familiarize myself with the situation, I will go with you to see your family. How about that? I'm still a little nervous. Okay, I'll listen to you. Qinglin said while holding Mo Xiaolon's shoulder. Your father is guarding Xingyue City. I'll go into your space magic treasure. I'm afraid of seeing him. Your father has been ruling the Qing Emperor's dynasty. He must be very scary. Mo Xiaolon said while leaning on Qinglin's shoulder. My father is very easygoing. However, if you don't want to meet him for the time being, then so be it. We'll set off tomorrow. Make some preparations and I'll bring you there, Qinglin said with a smile. Mo Xiaolon was relieved. She was afraid that Qinglin would not agree. If he agreed, then Dark Feather's plan would be half successful. Holding back her unwillingness, Mo Xiaolon kissed Qinglin and went to prepare. You can't do that. Hurry up. What was Mo Xiaolon preparing? Naturally, it was to prepare the next plan. Since Qinglin had trusted her, then she would report to Dark Feather and see how he would arrange it. In fact, Mo Yuqing was very excited. She already knew when Qinglin agreed. Her cultivation base was high, and she could observe everything without Qinglin noticing. Even when Qinglin and Mo Xiaolon were together, Mo Yuqing could clearly investigate. Dark Feather gathered all the members of the team whose original body and doppelganger were present, and then selected 10 original bodies to enter Mo Xiaolon's space magic treasure. Mo Feiying, who did not have a doppelganger, was among them. After entering the 9 domains world, he wanted to stay and develop. Mo Feiying intended to improve his cultivation base in the 9 domains world. Taking the space magic treasure and symbolically bringing some wine from the tribe, Mo Xiaolon informed Qinglin that they were ready to set off at any time. At this time, Qinglin was bidding farewell to Qinghuan. Qinghuan wanted to go to Tianhuang City and Chengdu City. Mo Yuqing, who had witnessed this scene, really did not want to let Qinghuan go, because she was a hostage. There was no reason for her to stay. Mo Yuqing could even understand why Qinghuan was in a hurry to leave. It was because she was disgusted with Mo Feiying. When Mo Feiying saw Qing Wan, he had an impulse. His eyes were like a beast in heat, extremely aggressive. Qing Wan, who had cultivated to the Lord of Heaven, was not a fool. She naturally understood the changes in Mo Feiying's body and mind, so she was particularly disgusted. Therefore, she felt that she still preferred the aura of Night Sorrow and the God-slaying team. It could be said that there was a difference in human nature. After sending Qing Wan away, Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan set off. He did not know what this trip represented. Dark Feiqing did not follow, because the defense near Xingyue City was too tight. If she followed, it would be easy for her to ruin things. Qing Lin was not in a hurry. He took Mo Xiaolan on a scenic tour, and at the same time constantly told Mo Xiaolan about the situation of the Chaos Domain. You mean the Chaos Domain used to be a group of 3 major worlds, and the 9 Domains world was a small world. In 1,000 years, the level of the 9 Domains world surpassed the 3 major worlds and became the core of the Chaos Domain? Mo Xiaolan asked. She knew a little, but was not very clear about the relationship between the 9 Domains world and the Chaos Domain. Yes, the 9 Domains world is the core of the Chaos Domain. The Realm Lord of the 9 Domains world, our junior brother Night Sorrow, is also the Domain Lord of the Chaos Domain. In addition, from the Celestial Realm to the Chaos Domain, one must first pass through the 9 Domains world, and then through the main transmission array of the 9 Domains world. Qing Lin said with a smile. Speaking of the Chaos Domain, the 9 Domains world and Night Sorrow, Qing Lin was full of pride. The 9 Domains world is good. When we were training, we heard about the 9 Domains world more than once, saying that it is a new supreme world. Let's go and have a look. Mo Xiaolan said with a smile. Okay, I'll listen to you. Qing Lin nodded. Hearing Qing Lin's words, Mo Xiaolan was very excited, because this represented that the opportunity had come. Dark Feiqing was also very excited after hearing Mo Xiaolan's report. She left a few members of the Demon Wing clan to clean up the Chiho tribe, and led her subordinates to move. To them, the Chiho tribe was just a cover for their identity in front of Qing Lin and Qing Wan. Now, it was not very useful. As for the future, when Qing Lin and Qing Wan asked about it, the answer was very simple. When they went out to train, the Chiho tribe was attacked. Except for the group of people who went out to train, the rest were killed. Along the way, Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan talked and laughed, but Mo Xiaolan deliberately avoided the big cities. She was worried that the experts in the big cities would discover her aura. Heaven Monarch Qing Lin's cultivation was trash in her eyes, but she was afraid of high-level Emperor Tribulation and Emperor Tribulation cultivators. Then, she would sense their aura and it would be easy for problems to arise. She hid her cultivation just to scare Qing Lin and Qing Wan. As they got closer and closer to the Star Moon City, Mo Xiaolan felt inexplicably nervous. If she succeeded, then she would have done a great service to the Devil-Winged clan. She spoke to Qing Lin before entering Qing Lin's space-type artifact. In the 9 Regions world, Yi Shang had come out of seclusion. Just as he was about to go investigate, Mo Tianji also came out of seclusion. The two of them were drinking tea in Chen Chen's tea house. Yi Shang smiled and said that the Demon Wing clan's tea tasted terrible. Chapter 2200. Then shouldn't we be glad? If you like that kind of tea ceremony, we can sit together and you can drink yours and I'll drink mine. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Good things will always be accepted. It is a fact that the tea ceremony of the 100 races in the celestial realm is much more advanced than that of the demon-winged race. I liked it after coming into contact with it. However, I can't tell the demon-winged race how good the tea ceremony of the celestial realm is, right? Moreover, I didn't pay much attention to this kind of culture back then. After all, it is not a cultivation heritage. Besides, the demon-winged race has never been to the celestial realm and have never come into contact with the tea ceremony of the 100 races in the celestial realm. Mo Tianji pointed out the key issue. Knight Sorrow nodded. After hearing Mo Tianji's words, Knight Sorrow knew the key issue. The two chatted with tacit understanding. Mo Tianji didn't ask what Knight Sorrow did in the demon-winged race's territory, and Knight Sorrow didn't ask about the situation in the demon imperial city. They respected each other and didn't want to make things difficult for each other. Tianji, let me tell you something else. Think about it. Do you know anything about the ancient world? If you are interested and can represent the 9-domain world, I can bring you along. Knight Sorrow thought for a moment and said. Mo Tianji had sworn not to harm the celestial realm and the 9-domain world, so he wasn't worried. I know. But I don't know much about it. I only read about it in the history books. Do you have any information about the ancient world? Have you obtained any heritage? After hearing Knight Sorrow's words, Mo Tianji was very interested. We have some information. As for the heritage, only Tran Hung has some. In 3 years, we will go to the ancient world. Knight Sorrow said. You don't need to ask me about this. Other than the war with the demon-winged race, I am a citizen of the 9-domain world. Moreover, even if there is a war between the demon-winged race and the 9-domain world, I will be fighting for the 9-domain world. You know this. So, if there is a war, just call me. Mo Tianji explained her point of view. She was willing to fight for the 9-domain world. This was her opinion. She liked the people of the 9-domain world and the local customs. Awesome. I like your generosity. Knight Sorrow poured Mo Tianji a cup of tea and told her about the world tree. After hearing about the ancient world and the world tree, Mo Tianji was shocked. Knight Sorrow, the world tree is incredible. If you can bring it to the 9-domain world, the 9-domain world will develop even better. I'm afraid that's not possible. Even if we get the world tree, we need it to maintain the celestial realm's origin energy so that the celestial realm won't be destroyed. Knight Sorrow shook his head. He wasn't a selfish person. Then you should also request that the world tree be placed in Starmoon City so that the 2 worlds can share it, said Mo Tianji. She was now considering everything for the 9 regions world. That's possible, but we need to solve the problem first. The world tree doesn't allow anyone to get close to it. We can only deal with De and Ling, Knight Sorrow said. The world tree is pure and holy by nature. She will approve of De and Ling. Also, spirituality. Only those with high spirituality and chastity can get close to it. Mo Tianji said something that Knight Sorrow didn't understand. Who knows if the Ice Phoenix clan's women are chastity? I can't ask that. I'll talk to Ling Huang later. Knight Sorrow was a bit conflicted. He had never met the people that Huang Ling had arranged. As for Wu Lingfei, he didn't know either. Before he met Wu Lingfei, she had already achieved a lot in the 9-domain world. She had lived there for hundreds of years. Knight Sorrow didn't know if she had a romantic life in those hundreds of years. If they can't do it, I'll give it a try. My spirituality shouldn't be too bad either. Mo Tianji said with a smile. Knight Sorrow looked up at Mo Tianji. What are you looking at? Who do you think I am? A woman like Jun Xuanji, who can't even walk or close her legs when she sees a man. I used to be the holy ancestor of the demon-winged clan. Naturally, I have to respect myself. Mo Tianji couldn't stand being stared at by Knight Sorrow even though she had the mentality of someone who could dominate the world. At the same time, she also attacked Jun Xuanji. The moment Jun Xuanji unsealed his soul, Jun Xuanji's memories were connected to hers. Naturally, she knew that Jun Xuanji had drugged Knight Sorrow. Don't get too excited, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. I'm not excited. It's just that your eyes just now. Mo Tianji shook her head. I'm very impressed. 9 eras is too long. It's very rare to be able to protect your body and heart under such complicated circumstances, Night Sorrow said. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Mo Tianji smiled. Without women, you probably wouldn't have been able to survive an era. Night Sorrow didn't mind Mo Tianji's joke at all. Then, the two returned to the main topic. Mo Tianji told Night Sorrow what she knew about the ancient world so that he could learn more about it. While the two were talking, Qing Lin brought Mo Xiaolan's spatial treasure to Xingyue City to visit his father. His mother, Misty Rain, was in the world of reincarnation. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Qing Lin explained to the Qing Emperor why Mo Xiaolan didn't come to visit him. Make the arrangements. I don't mind, but your mother is someone who values these things, the Qing Emperor said. Qing Lin understands. I will settle these things as soon as possible. Now, I plan to take a walk in the 9-domain world and then return to the Qing Emperor's dynasty to visit my mother, Qing Lin said with a bow. Under the Azure Emperor's request, the way the Azure Emperor and his family addressed each other was changed. They no longer addressed each other as father and mother. Because the Night Moon Empire was so powerful, even the Yi family did not have such a form. The Azure Emperor felt that he had been a frog in a well before, and it was not good to use those titles anymore. Now, only Qing Lin and Qing Wan still addressed each other that way. All right, go ahead. The Qing Emperor nodded. His children had their own lives, so he didn't restrict them. Qing Lin took the teleportation formation to the 9-domain world. Just as he was thinking about returning to the 9-domain world or visiting his mother in the world of reincarnation, a woman in a white dress and holding a long sword appeared in front of him. This woman was none other than Mo Tianji, who was drinking tea with Night Sorrow. I am Qing Lin from the Qing Emperor's dynasty. I am Night Sorrow's senior brother. Qing Lin reported his identity when he was stopped. Mo Tianji didn't say anything. She just frowned at Qing Lin. At this moment, Night Sorrow also arrived. Senior brother, I heard that you got married. I haven't received my gift yet. There's no need to be so courteous between us. I'll go pay my respects to my mother first. I'll come back later to drink with you. Qing Lin smiled. He knew from Yi Shang's attitude that fellow disciples were not estranged from each other. All right, I will follow your arrangements. I will stay in the 9-domain world for a while, Night Sorrow said. After Qing Lin took a few steps forward, he was stopped by Mo Tianji again. Chapter 2201. Tianji, he is my senior brother. How could I be wrong? Night Sorrow smiled. I know he is your senior brother, but there is something wrong with him. I didn't understand earlier, but when I heard that he was married, I understood. His body has the unique aura of a Demon Wing clan woman, which means he married a Demon Wing clan woman. Mo Tianji's aura exploded and enveloped Qing Lin's surroundings. She also used her energy to cover all of Qing Lin's spatial treasures. When Qing Lin walked out of the teleportation array, Mo Tianji felt something was wrong, but she couldn't figure it out. After listening to Night Sorrow and Qing Lin's conversation, Mo Tianji understood that Qing Lin's aura was because he often had sex with a Demon Wing clan woman. Senior brother, what is going on? Night Sorrow looked at Qing Lin and asked. He knew Mo Tianji wouldn't be wrong. I don't know. Qing Lin's heart shook. I don't care what relationship you have with the Demon Wing clan, but if you want to enter the 9-domain world, then I have to check your spatial treasures. Night Sorrow, this is what I promised you. You have to protect the 9-domain world. Mo Tianji looked at Night Sorrow. Senior brother, are there any other life forms in your spatial treasure? Night Sorrow knew the severity of the situation. Yes, but listen to me. Your sister-in-law is afraid that we will reject her primitive tribe, so I used my spatial treasure to bring her here to familiarize herself with our world. Junior brother, don't make things difficult for her. Qing-lin explained. Sigh. Monarch Yun, go to Xingyu's city and ask my master to come over. Knight Sorrow sighed helplessly. Actually, he didn't need to check. Knight Sorrow already knew that Mo Tianji was right. Junior brother, don't inform father. I will ask your sister-in-law to come out and verify it. Qing-lin anxiously stopped Yun Tianlong from entering the teleportation array. Senior brother, I am not making things difficult for you. Can you and sister-in-law cooperate? We cannot lose the 9-domain world and the primal chaos realm. Knight Sorrow looked at Qing-lin and said. Qing-lin nodded. He understood that Knight Sorrow had no intention of making things difficult for him. Intercepting him was not arranged by Knight Sorrow. Qing-lin's soul power revolved and sent Mo Xiaolon out of the spatial treasure. Before Mo Xiaolon could see what was going on, Mo Tianji grabbed her with her left hand and pulled her to the ground. Do you know me? Ah. Venerable ancestor. Mo Xiaolon was shocked to see Mo Tianji. She didn't know what was going on. She knew Mo Tianji, but she didn't know why Mo Tianji was here. Mo Zhantian still didn't listen to me. I've said it before. He can do whatever he wants in the celestial realm, but he can't have any ideas about the 9 domains world. Why? Why must you challenge my bottom line? Must we meet on the battlefield? Mo Tianji sighed. Divine ancestor, I don't understand. Mo Xiaolon looked around. She really didn't understand what was going on. Mo Tianji's words also confused her. This is your true body. You still have a clone. Send a message back to Mo Zhantian. Tell him to stop having any ideas about the 9 domains world. As for your people, don't go back. Treat it as a warning to Mo Zhantian and let him know that the boundary between us exists. Mo Tianji shook her arm and knocked Mo Xiaolon unconscious. She then looked at Knight Sorrow and Qing-lin. How could Qing-lin not understand? His wife of 30 years, who had been whispering sweet nothings to each other just a moment ago, was actually from the Demon Wing clan and had been using him. Mo Tianji took Mo Xiaolon's storage ring and spatial treasure with her left hand. Then, with a burst of energy, she destroyed everything. She didn't want to see who was inside the spatial treasure. She just wanted to tell the Demon Wing clan not to come again. If they did, she would kill them. Knight Sorrow, interrogation is useless. The members of the Demon Wing clan are all elites. They won't give you a chance to investigate. Mo Tianji looked at Knight Sorrow and said. Senior brother, you married a woman with 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivation. Didn't you think there would be a problem? Knight Sorrow smiled bitterly. He knew that this was a big blow to Qing-lin. Qing-wan and I have been training with them for 30 years. I didn't expect it to be a trap. They were using us. Qing-lin said bitterly. Senior brother, this woman is your wife. What do you plan to do with her? Besides, she still has a clone. The most important thing now is Qing-wan's safety. Knight Sorrow said. Qing-wan is fine. I sent her away first. She wants to go to the desolate Heaven City and the Divine Capital City. She didn't want to stay in the tribe. This woman. I have something to ask her. Can I? Qing-lin looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow nodded at Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji's arm shook and woke Mo Xiaolon up. After waking up, Mo Xiaolon looked at Mo Tianji with eyes full of disbelief. Mo Tianji was a figure of faith in the Demon Wing clan. 30 years ago, I told Mo Zhantian that I had nothing to do with the Demon Wing clan. I wanted to live in the 9-domain world and the Demon Wing clan shouldn't disturb me. But you still came. Whether you live or die is your fate. Mo Tianji said. It's not shameful for my plan to be exposed in front of you. Mo Xiaolon now understood that Mo Tianji was no longer the divine ancestor she knew. Xiaolon, you've been using me, right? Qing Lin's voice trembled. That's right. Who do you think you are? Every time I'm with you, I'm like a dead person. I've blocked my own feelings. You're just a piece of trash. Do you understand? Mo Xiaolon looked at Qing Lin with eyes full of disdain. Qing Lin was used by the enemy and almost made a big mistake. Please punish me. I won't complain. After confirming some things, Qing Lin knelt on one knee before Night Sorrow to accept his punishment. Senior brother, get up first. You made an unintentional mistake. They planned for 30 years and used 30 years to plot against you. It would be hard for anyone to guard against them. Nothing major has happened yet. King Yun, please take my senior brother to rest first. Yi Shang said to Yun Tianlong, who had been standing to the side. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. Qing Lin and Yun Tianlong left. When Mo Xiaolon said those words, Qing Lin knew that the past 30 years were fake. Everything was over. Don't expect to get anything from me. Don't expect to get any information from that piece of trash. Our team is already prepared for failure. Mo Xiaolon smiled. I don't expect to get anything. I'm not afraid of your attack. Since that's the case, there's no need to keep you alive. Night Sorrow turned and entered the sky's ceiling palace. His battle doppelganger rushed to the teleportation array. He wanted to find Qing Wan. He was worried about her safety. As for Mo Xiaolon, he didn't need to care about her. Chapter 2202. You're a traitor of the Demon Wing clan. Mo Xiaolon shouted as she watched Mo Tianji leave. Mo Tianji turned around and swung her arm, slapping Mo Xiaolon across the face. You think you have the right to judge me? Who do you think you are? Without me, the Demon Wing clan had no other living space apart from the Demon Imperial City. Do you think you can still jump around today? It's true that I'm no longer in the Demon Wing clan, but as long as the Demon Wing clan doesn't touch my bottom line, I won't harm the Demon Wing clan. So, you better swallow the word traitor. Tai Shu Yan didn't give Mo Xiaolon a chance to speak and dragged her away. Mo Xiaolon was sealed by Mo Tianji, so she couldn't do anything. When Yi Shang saw Qing Wan in the divine capital, he let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that something would happen to Qing Wan. If that happened, he would have to hold back. After finding Qing Wan, Night Sorrow brought Qing Wan back to the Star Moon City. The two of them went to see the Qing Emperor. Night Sorrow told the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan about what happened in the Nine Regions world. He wasn't complaining about Qing Lin. He wanted the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan to know the truth so that he could persuade Qing Lin. Night Sorrow knew that Qing Lin had suffered a big blow this time. It could be seen from Qing Lin's tolerance of Mo Xiaolon. Using 30 years to plan one thing. They also put in a lot of effort. This loss is not undeserved. The Qing Emperor sighed. No wonder I felt that their auras were strange. So they were from the Demon Wing clan. Qing Wan said with some emotion. It's good that they were exposed early. We'll be prepared. If they really sneak into the Nine Regions world, we'll be in trouble. The Qing Emperor said. Night Sorrow nodded. He also understood that it was good that they were exposed early. If they weren't discovered, it would be difficult to deal with them when the Demon Wing clan matured. After chatting for a while, the Qing Emperor and Qing Wan followed Night Sorrow to the Nine Regions world. They wanted to see Qing Lin. The Qing Emperor and Qing Wan went to find Qing Lin first. Night Sorrow went to the Origin Enlightened Treasure Tower. Heavenly concubine, I want to see you. At this time, an energy appeared beside Night and pulled Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow didn't resist and entered the Origin Enlightened Tower. He wasn't worried. First, Motng swear an oath couldn't hurt him. Also, she couldn't hurt him. This was the 9 regions world. He could control the sealed heaven palace. He could control the world. And seal. Origin Enlightened Treasure Pavilion was very extravagant. Women generally cared about the quality of life. Are you angry? Yishang smiled and sat across from Motng, sitting on the luxurious soft chair. I'm a little angry. She actually called me a traitor. There's something wrong with your head. Motng's face was frosty. She was really angry. And Night Sorrow said with a smile. Knowing is one thing. I can control my emotions, but it will affect my mood. How can I be happy? Motng shook her head. Yishang glanced at Motng's Origin Enlightened Treasure Pagoda and took out a Dragon Eye Night Pearl he had obtained from the broken body of an ice dragon in the Ice Dragon realm. If you put this in your space, it will be much brighter. Although it's ordinary, your intention is good. You know how to coax people. My mood is much better. Motng said. Heavenly concubine, I owe you a big favor. I will remember this. Night Sorrow looked at Motng seriously. Forget about the favor. You want me to be the guardian of the 9 regions world. I have to do my duty, right? Also, when I need help, I'm sure you can help me. You're willing to tell me about the ancient world and bring me along. This proves everything. The coldness on Motng's face lessened because her heart was warm. Yes, we are friends. When something good happens, I will think of you. When I need help, I will also think of you. Night Sorrow nodded. Motng glanced at Night Sorrow and said, then it's settled. Now, I have really fallen out with the Devil Wing clan. You should feel more at ease. Why should I feel more at ease? I was worried that you would feel sad. That's why I came to see you. Night Sorrow looked at Motng with a bit of disdain. He helplessly revealed his true intentions. Motng didn't have any knot in her heart. The two of them talked about the aftermath of this matter. Motng was the one who brought it up. Motng felt that it wasn't realistic to find the Devil Wing clan immediately. The Devil Wing clan must have a backup plan. They probably ran away and hid. Night Sorrow also expressed his worries. He was worried that the Devil Wing clan would set up a teleportation array in the celestial realm. The Devil Wing clan would rush over endlessly. Heaven Huang and the celestial realm are separated by the Nirvana Ocean. The distance is huge. If there isn't a support point, it won't be possible to teleport. Unless Enchanting can find a support point for the teleportation array. However, this is very difficult. The possibility of finding a support point in the Nirvana Ocean is extremely low. Motng said. Reincarnation Island can be a support point in the Nirvana Ocean. However, with the Grand Elder guarding it, I don't know about other places. Night Sorrow said. Since they made this plan, they must have a plan. As for what it is, it's hard to tell. Motng said. Since they were already opposing each other, she didn't have any psychological burden. Later, I'll go to the celestial realm to make arrangements. Since we know, we'll have to deal with it. Night Sorrow nodded. Based on the current situation, they should be planning for the long term. After all, Enchanting is severely injured. Motng needs to increase his cultivation. He won't be able to fight. Motng said after thinking for a while. After chatting with Motng for a while, Night Sorrow saw that she was in a good mood. He went to the biggest inn in the 9-region city to find Qing Emperor and his family. Qing Lin was dispirited. As a cultivator, he had a strong will. However, this incident had a huge impact on him. Seeing Knight Sorrow arrive, Qing Emperor and the others invited Knight Sorrow to take a seat. Knight Sorrow, my brother and I didn't think this through. We almost caused a disaster. We don't have the ability to bear the responsibility. However, we can bear the responsibility. We will accept the punishment. Qing Luan said. Now isn't the time to find out who is responsible. It's nothing. Knight Sorrow said. First VF release, junior brother, don't say that. If Lord Protector hadn't discovered it in time, the consequences would have been severe. I will accept any punishment without any complaints. As the domain lord, you have to deal with this matter no matter what. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to manage others in the future. Qing Lin raised his head and sighed. Chapter 2203. It's your first mistake, and it's an unintentional one. Senior brother Qing Lin and senior sister Qing Luan will cooperate with the Tianhuang city's people to clean up the mess. Then, go to the Heaven Sealing Palace and reflect on your mistakes for 100 years. Knight Sorrow made his decision after thinking for a while. Yes. Qing Lin accepts the punishment. Qing Lin cupped his hands towards Knight Sorrow. He knew that this was a very light punishment. Junior brother, I'm fine. Qing Luan looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow smiled, senior sister didn't do anything wrong. This time, senior brother was wrong for hiding from the guards of the teleportation array and bringing people into the 9-domain world without permission. You didn't do anything wrong in other places either. Who could resist being cheated? Who would want to be cheated? Okay. I'm still waiting to be punished. It's better if you don't. Qing Luan said. At the same time, her thoughts drifted. At this moment, she understood that this was the difference between Knight Sorrow and the demon-winged clan. Knight Sorrow's smile was as warm as the spring breeze. It was as if no difficulties were a problem. Master, I'm sorry. Knight Sorrow said to Qing Emperor. Qing Emperor patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder. Why are you saying this to me? You didn't do anything wrong. Even if you don't deal with it, I will. If that happens, I won't be able to explain myself for 100 years. After saying goodbye to Qing Emperor, Knight Sorrow took Qing Lin and Qing Luan to the Tianhuang city through the teleportation array. Then, he called for a meeting of elders. Knight Sorrow called for a meeting of elders for the first time. Almost all of the elders in the Tianhuang city came. Standing up, Knight Sorrow cupped his hands towards the elders who came. Then, he told them about this incident and asked them to discuss how to deal with the aftermath. It seems that Imo Zhantian left some hidden bombs behind last time. Now that the bombs have exploded ahead of time, we naturally can't let them lie there peacefully. Next, I will order the God Castle to put up a reward. Let's not talk about whether we can dig them out, but at least we can't let them live peacefully. Lin Piaomiao said. I will bring people to that tribe to see if we can find any clues. Emperor Tang stood up and accepted the order. Zhai Xing Elder, cooperate with Emperor Tang and bring some diviners there. Even if they have a treasure to prevent divination, they won't be together. If we catch them, we can kill them. Knight Sorrow Elder Zhai Xing said to Zhai Xing Zhai Elder. Zhai Xing, Zhai Sect Elder also accepted the order. Knight Sorrow pondered for a moment before saying, also, send 2 troops of the Heaven Wasteland Army to scout around the Nirvana Ocean and see if there's anything amiss. The rest of the Heaven Wasteland Army will directly cross the Nirvana Ocean Bridge and set up camp near the Nirvana Ocean Bridge to see if there's any place that the demon-winged race can use to set up a teleportation formation. Pu Luo will be the commander. Great Demon King, you and Qing Luan will follow me later. After Night Sorrow gave the order, everyone went to carry it out. Night Sorrow asked Qing Lin to follow Emperor Tang to investigate the Chiho tribe and look for clues. He brought the Great Demon King and Qing Wan to the First Army's encampment and gathered the members of the First Army and the God-Slaying team. It's time for you guys to take action. The Demon Wing clan has appeared in our celestial realm. We must hunt them down. Great Demon King, you lead the team, Night Sorrow said to Great Demon King, Long Jin, and Tianyu. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. At this time, in the Demon Imperial City, Mo Yuqing and Mo Zhantian explained the situation. Mo Xiaolan's original body was destroyed, but her doppelganger was by her side, so Mo Yuqing was fully aware of the situation. One wrong step led to many wrong steps. I didn't expect the heavenly concubine to shed all pretense of cordiality with us. Mo Zhantian was very annoyed because the plan that was about to succeed had failed again. Yuqing didn't expect that she would be able to detect Mo Xiaolan's aura from Qing Lin. Mo Yuqing was also very regretful. If she had expected this, she would have arranged for Qing Lin and Mo Xiaolan to follow Qing Wan. Although it would be troublesome, there would still be a chance. Now, there was no chance at all. This is fate. How is your team hiding? Although you have a treasure that can prevent divination, you still have to be careful. Wait for a little while and destroy the 10 original bodies. Only by sending out the clansmen of the doppelganger to stir up the water will the rest of you be truly safe and can proceed to the next step of development, Mo Zhantian said. Mo Zhantian said. He knew that he couldn't blame anyone for this failure. Relatively speaking, Mo Yuqing's plan was very thorough. He didn't mention Mo Tianji's matter because he didn't want to cause panic, but there was still a problem. Yuqing will arrange it well. Please rest assured, Divine Ancestor. In addition, Mo Feiying's original body followed Mo Xiaolan and the others into the 9 domains world and has already fallen. Mo Yuqing said. She could not say anything about the others, but Mo Feiying was a key figure in the Demon Wing clan. He was from the Immortal Tribe and was a descendant of Mo Yuqian. It's nothing. I will tell Lord Yuqian about this matter. Mo Yuqian shook his head at Mo Yuqing. He did not want this matter to become pressure for Mo Yuqing. Mo Yuqing did not say anything else. Her doppelganger was still handling things. The cultivators of the celestial realm began to move. Everyone knew that the Demon Wing clan had sneaked into the celestial realm. Now, they had to work hard to dig them out. Night Sorrow rushed towards the heavenly desolate mountain. He did not want to bring anyone with him, but Lin Piaomiao was worried. In addition, Datura, who was staying in the mansion, also followed. The 3 of them carefully investigated the area of the heavenly desolate mountain. The 3 of them found that other than demonic beasts, there were no cultivators of the Demon Wing clan. Sister Xianer, it seems like the Demon Wing clan is planting a long line. There is no trace of movement, Night Sorrow said. Lin Piaomiao nodded. We can only dig out their spies from the celestial realm. There is no other way. In order to ensure the safety of the Heaven Wasteland army at the border of the Nirvana Ocean, Night Sorrow and his 2 wives stayed in the stronghold of the Heavenly Desolate Mountain for a month. A month later, Night Sorrow brought his 2 wives to the command tent of the Heaven Wasteland army at the bridge of the Nirvana Ocean. Alliance Head, we have searched for a month and did not find anything. We also did not see any members of the Demon Wing clan. We do not know what they are up to. Pu Luo said. They are planting a long line. I am worried that they have already set up the transfer array. Who knows when the Demon Wing clan would appear in the hinterland of the celestial realm. That would be troublesome. Night Sorrow said. Actually, it is not that troublesome. They only have 2 big shots now. So what if they enter the celestial realm? Won't they still be chased? They can't afford to fight us head-on. We are not afraid. Pu Luo said. That is true. Other than the Demon Imperial City, the Demon Wing clan cannot afford to fight us. Night Sorrow heard Pu Luo's words and felt much more relaxed. Chapter 2204. Night Sorrow found that his idea had always been to defend. Defense was necessary, but a head-on battle was not impossible. If the Demon-Winged clan dared to enter the Celestial Realm, then he could cut off the Demon-Winged clan's retreat. Since we can't find anything, let's retreat. If they dare to come, then we dare to fight. Apart from the Demon Imperial City's defense, they are not strong enough to fight a head-on battle, Night Sorrow said to Pu Luo and Lin Piaomiao. Then Night Sorrow left first. The Celestial Realm would be a battlefield in the future, and he had the awareness and plan to fight. However, Night Sorrow would never let the flames of war spread easily in the Nine Domains world. Some problems should be solved if possible. Night Sorrow returned to Star Moon City, and asked the clones of Qinglin and Qinghuan about the situation of their two teams. Then Night Sorrow learned that the Chiho tribe had been completely destroyed. When Qinglin and Emperor Tang arrived, there was not a single person left alive in the Chiho tribe. According to the divination of the divination master brought by Elder Zhai Xing, Emperor Tang and his men chased down and killed 2 members of the Demon-Winged clan who were alone. According to Qinglin, the Demon-Winged clan should have sent a large number of people this time, and not just a few. Then continue to kill, it's not something to be anxious about. Night Sorrow was open-minded. If there were troublemakers, then kill them slowly. The Demon-Winged clan did not have the ability to subvert the Celestial Realm at present. Night Sorrow withdrew the large group of people from Heaven Wasteland, but the elimination of the Demon-Winged clan within the Celestial Realm continued. Several Supreme Elders and Emperor Tribulation Elders of the Council of Elders followed the team to ensure the safety of the team. Mo Yuqing brought the majority of the team into a cave in a mountain using a space treasure, so that they could avoid some divination. Even if they were divined, the surroundings were dark mountain walls, and there was no reference to determine the location, so they could not be found. From today onwards, without new orders, don't move, Mo Yuqing said. Dark Feather said. She knew very well that now that their plan had been exposed, the movements of the Heavenly Concubine 100 races must be very big, and they would even capture them at all costs. Night Sorrow took the teleportation formation to Shindu City after the troops had returned to Shindu City. This time, he did not go to the Humanitarian League headquarters. Instead, he went directly to Yawu Mountain. He wanted to see King Yawu and exchange ideas with him. Fen Tian was not in the Yawu Mountain, and the only one who could cultivate in the Yawu Mountain for a long period of time was Night Sorrow. King Yawu, who was meditating, opened his eyes and nodded at Night Sorrow. Have a seat. Is there something troubling you? King Yawu gestured for Night Sorrow to sit down. He knew that Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were not in Tianhuang City. Night Sorrow was in charge of everything. Night Sorrow shook his head and told him about what had happened recently. He also talked about his views on the future situation. You're right to change your thinking. We can't dig a dead end. Since we can't dig them out, then let's not dig them out. If you want to fight, we'll accompany you at any time. We can't take down the Demon Imperial City, but we're not afraid of them attacking. Last time, Mo Zhantian burned the power of faith. What will he burn next time? King Yawu smiled. It's good that Martial Uncle thinks there's no problem. The Celestial Realm is so big. It's too difficult to dig out hidden spies. I don't have a choice. Night Sorrow explained the root cause of his change of thinking. Let nature take its course. There's no need to make a big fuss. In addition, it's a good thing that Mo Tianji is willing to sincerely contribute to the Nine-Domain world. With her helping you guard the Nine-Domain world, it's unrealistic for anyone to break in. King Yawu was also happy because Night Sorrow had a great helper. Knight Sorrow and King Yowu drank a pot of tea and exchanged views on the general situation. King Yowu told Knight Sorrow not to worry. Even if the Demon Wing clan entered the celestial realm, they would not dare to show off. They were weaker than the 100 races of the celestial realm. If they really fought, they would be at a disadvantage. Besides, with the 9-domain world and the realm of chaos as their backing, the 100 races of the celestial realm were not afraid to fight. After receiving King Yowu's affirmation, Knight Sorrow felt a lot more relaxed. He knew his thinking was right, but he still needed others to support him. After chatting for a while, Knight Sorrow left 2 jars of wine for King Yowu and was about to leave. Don't worry and do it boldly. Whether it's Martial Uncle, the City Lord of Heavenly Baron or the Grand Elder, they all support you. No one else will oppose your decision. If there's anything, just tell Martial Uncle. This is Martial Uncle's soul crystal. Leave yours too, King Yowu said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow took King Yowu's soul crystal and left his own before leaving Yowu Mountain. Seeing Knight Sorrow leave, King Yowu nodded with satisfaction. He knew that Knight Sorrow had a strong ability to control the situation. He could also convince the people, so he was not worried. He was not the only one who was not worried. Tran Hung and the Grand Elder were also not worried. That was why they left Heavenly Baron City and the Council of Elders to Knight Sorrow. After leaving God's capital and arriving at Heavenly Baron City, Knight Sorrow told Lin Piao, the Great Demon King, and the Grand Elders of the Council of Elders about his idea. It was a future strategy. The Golden Dragon King, Huang Ling, and the others were all supportive. The White Tiger Patriarch, whom Knight Sorrow had never seen before, was also supportive. The White Tigers loved to fight and were never afraid of battles. I've never seen Patriarch Lin before. Thank you for your approval of this tactic, Yishang said to the White Tiger Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. Young City Lord, you're too polite. Although I've never talked to you before, I know what you're doing. I also want to thank you for taking care of Lin Chuan, Patriarch Lin Yuanjun, who looked majestic and had a strong body, said. Patriarch Lin, you're too kind. Lin Chuan and I are friends and brothers. We've grown up together and worked hard together, Knight Sorrow said. Young City Lord, you're too polite. If there's a battle in the future, just let me know. I and the White Tigers have never been stingy in contributing to the celestial realm. We're never afraid of battles, Patriarch Lin Yuanjun said. Knight Sorrow stood up and cupped his hands at Patriarch Lin Yuanjun. I can't represent too many people, but I still want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. If we work together, there's nothing we can't do. Young City Lord, you can now represent Heavenly Baron City, God's Martial City, and the Council of Elders. Don't be too humble, Huang Ling said with a smile. Knight Sorrow is still young. I still need your support in some matters. Knight Sorrow nodded at them. Knight Sorrow, there's one more thing. The Heavens Vault tribe is in a bit of a mess now. Should we let someone take over? Lin Piao looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Knight Sorrow slapped his forehead. This is all my fault. The Heavens Vault tribe's high priest is involved in my past karma. Besides, he's also notorious, so I arranged for someone to deal with him. I didn't expect the situation in the Heavens Vault tribe's territory. Which force is the Heavens Vault tribe closest to? Chapter 2205. 2 grudges, I guess. One is because of the inheritance of my cultivation technique, and the other is that he also had a conflict with me. Knight Sorrow explained the dispute between him and the Heaven High Priest. The Heaven Vault tribe's development model is wrong. It's fine if they don't bully someone ruthless, but they're unlucky if they kick an iron plate. The young city lord is that iron plate. Emperor Tang shook his head. He could only say that the Heaven Vault High Priest was unlucky. There was probably no iron plate harder than Night Sorrow in the celestial realm. The grudge between me and him is nothing, but I cultivated the cultivation technique of the Heaven Monarch from the chaotic realm, so I have to help resolve the grudge of his death. Otherwise, I'll always feel guilty, Night Sorrow said. The young city lord's actions are understandable. If he didn't do it, he wouldn't have died. He asked for it. That territory is closer to the Ice Phoenix tribe. Does anyone want it? If no one wants it, the Ice Phoenix tribe will take it, Huang Ling said. Huang Ling spoke, but no one else said anything. What do you think, young city lord? Huang Ling looked at Night Sorrow and asked. The Ice Phoenix tribe can take it, but I hope that the Ice Phoenix tribe can be more lenient to the people of the Heaven Vault tribe. Whether they live well is actually my karma, Night Sorrow looked at Huang Ling and said. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, Huang Ling promised that the Heaven Vault tribe would be governed by virtue. Wu Lingfei would arrange the specific matters. You know our daughter. You can rest assured now, the Heavenly Astral King said with a smile. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, thank you, Spirit Emperor and Heavenly Astral King. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at the two of them. Night Sorrow chatted with the group for a while and then left. He didn't want to disturb old friends from catching up. Origin Lord, what do you think? The Golden Dragon King asked the White Tiger tribe leader, Lin Yuanjun. He has both ability and integrity, and he is decisive in killing. The 100 clans of the Celestial Realm need a human emperor like him. Lin Yuanjun had a very high opinion of Night Sorrow. As soon as Night Sorrow sat down, Aoi and Yang Lei appeared. 13. Did something happen? Looking at Aoi and Yang Lei, Night Sorrow was a little confused. He didn't understand what happened. After the Thunder Rumbling clan sent a letter of apology to the city in the sky, they declared war on the Medicine Valley. Not only the Thunder Rumbling clan, but the Yun dynasty of the Taiqing domain also took action. The flames of war are already burning in Danding City, Aoi said. Aoi had just finished explaining what happened when Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Captain, I'm sorry. Yun Huang and Lei Bao immediately bowed in front of Night Sorrow. Lei Bao, what happened? Night Sorrow saw that Lei Bao's face was a little sad. Lei Zheng's grandson and the little princess of the Yun dynasty were beaten up by the people of the Medicine Valley. Their foundation was destroyed, Lei Bao exhaled and said. Captain, the little princess of the Yun dynasty, Yunli, is my cousin's granddaughter. Every time I go back to the clan, she takes me everywhere. Now, she's been bullied beyond recognition. Yun Huang clenched his fists so tightly that cracking sounds could be heard. Why are two problems happening all of a sudden? Who can tell me what happened? Night Sorrow was a little confused because the situation was too serious. Yunli went to the Thunder Rumbling clan with me as a guest and got together with Yun Zheng's grandson. When the two of them went out to travel, they met the Medicine Valley's training team. When the Medicine Valley's leader saw Yunli, he was lustful and had a conflict. Yunli and Lei Zhongyun were beaten up. Lei Zhongyun is Yun Zheng's grandson, Yun Huang said. Night Sorrow waved his arm and directly shattered the table in the mansion's living room. He was really angry. If it was another force, I would bring you guys to kill them right now. But I can't do it for the Medicine Valley. I really can't. Night Sorrow bowed to Yun Huang and Lei Bao apologetically. He felt very guilty. Captain, we hope that you won't stop them. We also hope that you can say hello to the Taishan Peak. This matter has nothing to do with the Taishan Peak, Lei Bao said. Ninth senior sister, you go and do this. Tell the senior brothers to give me face and not get involved in this matter. Also, tell them that I'm on the brothers' side, Night Sorrow directly expressed his attitude. Thank you, Captain, Yun Huang and Lei Bao bowed to Night Sorrow. Go. If too many people interfere, I will step in and take care of it. Night Sorrow waved his hand. He felt very uncomfortable. Yang Lei left with Lei Bao and Yun Huang. She was on the same side as Night Sorrow. At this moment, Danding City was in a stalemate. The leader of the Yun dynasty was Yun Tianlong and the leader of the Thunder Rumbling sect was Lei Zheng. Lei Zheng's body floated in the air. He closed his eyes and thought about something. He was waiting for news from Lei Bao and Yun Huang because he respected Night Sorrow. He wanted to know what Night Sorrow wanted to do. Lei Didi, we will think of a way to make up for it. Why don't you guys leave first? Xiang Tianding said. The Medicine Valley was led by Chu Lingxiao, Xiang Tianding, and Lin Jingyi. There was a huge difference in strength. The Medicine Valley was strong, but that was only if the Taishan Peak was included. With the Taishan Peak, the Medicine Valley was the #1 sect in the 9 regions world. Impossible. Lei Jing opened his eyes. Lightning snakes swam in his eyes. He was extremely angry. He was like Night Sorrow. He had high expectations for his children, but he didn't expect them to have great achievements. He only wanted them to live happily. But now, something had happened. Then what do you want? Lin Jingyi looked at Lei Jing and asked. She often trained in the celestial realm and the chaotic realm. In 1,000 years, she had also reached the heavenly monarch realm. But compared to Yunjing, she was much weaker. One of the killers, Lin Shueqing, is your clansman, right? Is this how you teach your clansmen? How dare you violate the precepts of sex? Lei Jing roared at Lin Jingyi. We will hand over the killers. Lin Jingyi said. Where are the killers? We asked for the killers for a few days. Do you think our words are nonsense? Yunzheng was a little angry. In the city in the sky, Aoi told Gong Xian and the others about Night Sorrow's intentions. He wouldn't interfere. At this time, Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived at Danding City. Many people had gathered in Danding City. Almost all the people from the 9 regions world's commander-in-chief residence were here. Of course, the highest commander, Night Sorrow, wasn't here. After Yun Huang and Lei Bao arrived, they nodded at Lei Jing and told him about Night Sorrow's intentions through soul telepathy. Since you don't want to hand them over, then we have no choice. We respect the Realm Lord and the Taishan Peak. We won't attack the Medicine Valley. We won't destroy Danding City either. But your Lin family's power will be gone. Attack. Destroy all the properties of the Lin family and the Dai family. Kill anyone who resists. Yunjing stared at Lin Jingyi and the others. He then gave the order to attack. He controlled himself. The people who heard his grandson were the clansmen of the Lin family and the Greenstone Peak Master, Dai Tong Tong. Don't regret this. Lin Jingyi's expression changed. Are you trying to scare me? Lei Jing snorted. Chapter 2206. How dare you look for the Realm Master after doing such a thing? Lei Jing waved his hand and sent an energy palm towards Lin Jingyi. He had been unhappy with her for a long time. Lin Jingyi's expression changed drastically. She didn't expect Lei Jing to attack without warning. Moreover, she couldn't withstand the suppression of his domain. She spat out a mouthful of blood and was suppressed. Dai Tongnian was also controlled by Yun Huang's nether wolf. At this time, Aoi and Gong Xian returned. After thinking about it, Gong Xian felt that it wouldn't be good if he didn't show up as the Valley Master. He had to control the situation. As for who the culprit was and how to deal with it, that was another matter. When they saw Gong Xian, Lei Jing and Yun Huang nodded at him. They knew that Night Sorrow, Yang Lei, Aoi, and Chu Ning respected Gong Xian a lot. Seeing that Dai Tongnian and the others were about to speak, Gong Xian waved his hand. Emperor Lei, Emperor Yun, I already know what happened. This time, the people of Medicine Valley were in the wrong. We'll deal with it as we should. I just hope that this matter won't escalate too much. Thank you for your understanding, Valley Master. We won't do anything rash. It's just that the Lin and Dai families are too arrogant. They even dare to bully people. The cultivators of the 9 domains world are all virtuous. What have they done? What have their elders done? If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. They are all responsible, Lei Jing said to Gong Xian. Look at what you've done. You've disgraced Medicine Valley. Can't you be more careful? Can't you be more righteous? Bully people. What right do you have? Based on the reputation of others. Gong Xian said bitterly as he looked at the people of Medicine Valley. Sorry for making things difficult for you, Valley Master. We only want the culprit and their clan leader to give us an explanation. We won't implicate the innocent, Lei Bao said. Thank you, Emperor Lei Bao. Gong Xian looked at Yun Huang. We naturally have to give face to you, Valley Master. It's just that the Medicine Valley is in a mess now. Yun Huang nodded. Inform the troops to retreat. We will capture them ourselves. Lei Bao said to Lei Jing. With Gong Xian's return and Lei Bao, Lei Jing, and Yun Huang's support, the outcome of the matter was set. Everyone in the Medicine Valley is here, so I will say a few words in front of everyone. I am the Valley Master, and I have the responsibility to take care of the members of the Medicine Valley. However, I have no obligation to cover up your misdeeds. If you are unscrupulous, then you have to deal with the consequences yourself. Gong Xian's expression was very ugly. The troops from the Yun dynasty and the Thunder Rumbling School retreated. Lei Bao, Lei Jing, Yun Huang and Yun Tianlong left. They wanted to personally go and capture those people. The battle between forces would not be carried out, but justice must be demanded. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongnian were about to leave and visit their families, but they were stopped by Gong Xian because he had to hold a sect meeting. Looking at Aoi and Yang Lei, as well as the other disciples of Taishan Peak, Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongnian didn't say anything. Dai Tongnian didn't need to say anything. He relied on his seniority to become the peak master of the Blue Stone Peak. As for Lin Jingyi, the #1 master of the Medicine Valley, it was a title that only the disciples of Taishan Peak who went out to gain experience were considered. Now that she dared to disobey Gong Xian's orders, she would be captured immediately. Chu Ning, Tang Tian, Ma Zhuang, Mo Qin, and Guan Yi of the God-slaying team were all kings. The Medicine Valley's meeting was held in the square in front of the main peak. Yu Yangyu and Hua Yunping, who were in seclusion, were both present. Last time, because of the bad atmosphere in the Medicine Valley, it caused the Realm Master to be disappointed in the Medicine Valley. This time, because of our bad behavior, others have come to slap us in the face. Don't we want the face of the Medicine Valley? In the past, I didn't say anything because I hoped that everyone would be self-disciplined. We are all from the same sect, so we should save face for each other. But now, I have to say it. First of all, there are 2 personnel appointments and removals. Lin Jingyi is removed from the position of Elder, and Dai Tongnian is removed from the position of Peak Master of the Blue Stone Peak. Second, there are punishments for the bad behavior of the people of the Medicine Valley. In the future, we won't wait for others to come to our door. If we make a mistake, the Medicine Valley will kill them ourselves and slap them in the face. Gong Xian issued 2 orders, both of which had a great impact. Lin Jingyi and Dai Tongnian didn't say anything. They also knew that they had made a fool of themselves this time. If they had been honorable, they wouldn't have remained silent after Aoi and Yang Lei appeared. Night Sorrow didn't say anything. Yang Lei and Aoi's words were also effective. The sect will set up a law enforcement team with the authority to supervise the families and forces under the jurisdiction of the Medicine Valley. Gong Xian gave the third order. He was now dealing with the matters of the Medicine Valley heavily. In the past, because of Night's sorrow, there were some things that were really difficult for him to deal with. Now, it was an opportunity for him to deal with the atmosphere of the Medicine Valley heavily. Eldest senior brother, if there's anything, go to the city in the sky and call us. Aoi and Yang Lei cupped their hands towards Yang Yu, their senior brother, and junior brother before leaving. The disciples of the Medicine Valley bowed and sent the two elders off. They knew that if the two elders didn't come, today's matter would definitely be blown up. It would really make the Thunder Rumbling sect and the Yun dynasty angry. At this moment, Night's Sorrow arrived at the Yun dynasty. Although Night's Sorrow didn't know anyone, others knew him. They brought him to see Yunli, whose dantian was broken and the tendons in her legs were cut. Realm Lord. Seeing Night's Sorrow, Yunli hurriedly sat up from the bed. Child, you've suffered. As an elder, I didn't do well. But don't worry, there won't be any problems with your injuries. You'll recover very soon. You have to trust me. Night's Sorrow helped Yunli sit up and said. The people that Yunli trusts the most are the Realm Lord and Grandpa Huang. Yunli smiled. The Grandpa Huang she was talking about was Yun Huang. Seeing Yunli's smile, Night's Sorrow's heart ached a little. The forces under the Medicine Valley being so rampant was also related to him. Come, I'll bring you to the Thunder Rumbling sect and treat your and Lei Zhongyun's injuries together. Night's Sorrow bent down and carried Yunli on his back. Realm Lord, you can't. How can a child be on your back? The Yun family was a little anxious. I'm the Realm Lord, but I'm also a human. Yun Huang and I are brothers. His descendants are my descendants. Night's Sorrow carried Yunli on his back and entered the teleportation array. After arriving at the Thunder Rumbling sect and seeing Lei Zhongyun, Night's Sorrow comforted the two children and began to refine pills. For ordinary cultivators, having their dantian shattered meant that their foundation was destroyed. But for Night's Sorrow, it wasn't a big problem. After 2 hours, he finished refining the pills. Then, using the life force of the world's origin, he helped the two children repair their dantian and tendons. After Night's Sorrow finished treating the two children's injuries, Yun Huang, Lei Bao, and Lei Jing arrived. Thank you, Captain. The three of them bowed to Night's Sorrow. You don't have to be so polite with me. I'm heartbroken that something like this happened. Naturally, I'll do what I can for the children. Night's Sorrow reached out and patted Yunli and Lei Zhongyun's shoulders. The matter is settled. The main culprit and the leaders of the two families have been killed. It's been a few days. As the leaders of the families, they're too much. Lei Bao said. It's good that it's settled. Perhaps after experiencing some things, the Medicine Valley can return to its original path. Night's Sorrow sighed. Chapter 2207. I won't see her. Deal with the aftermath yourself. She should understand that she took the wrong path. Under her protection, her family also took the wrong path. There's only so much affection between people. It can't be squandered. I've always wanted the best for her, but she really doesn't cherish it, said Night's Sorrow. At this time, Lin Jingyi had indeed arrived in front of the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall. She shouted at the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall, but Night's Sorrow ignored her. He didn't want to hide from Lin Jingyi. He just felt that there were some things that Lin Jingyi had to figure out herself. It was useless to say anything. As for how Medicine Valley punished Lin Jingyi, he didn't care. Looking at the Heaven-Sealing Great Hall, Lin Jingyi sighed. She knew that Night's Sorrow was there. Even if he wasn't, Night's Sorrow would know that she wanted to see him because he was connected to the world's origin. If he didn't appear now, it meant that he didn't want to see her. Lin Jingyi returned to Crepe Myrtle. Her position as an elder had been stripped, but she was still a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. In Crepe Myrtle's great hall, Lin Jingyi saw Yi Xiling and Tang Qianqian. "Jingyi, what's wrong with you?" Yi Xiling's eyes were full of disappointment. "After last time, I made a request to my family, but they didn't take it to heart. As a result, today's incident happened. I also know that I have to bear the responsibility," said Lin Jingyi. "It's good that you understand. Don't regret it only after your reputation is ruined. That would be meaningless. Don't disappoint me again." Yi Xiling sighed and left. She felt very embarrassed today. Lin Jingyi smiled bitterly. She knew that her reputation was ruined. Gong Xian didn't expel her from Medicine Valley because of the relationship between Night Sorrow and her. He left her a fig leaf. More. Seeing that Lei Zhongyun and Yunli's conditions were stable and that there was no problem for them to recover, Night Sorrow left and returned to the commander's residence. The commander's manor was no longer in the Grand Clarity region. It was in Nine Region City. Night Sorrow hadn't visited the commander's manor for a long time. Now that he was here, Xie Lanjun, who was in charge of handling matters in the commander's manor, notified the others. Everyone knows about what happened in the Eastern Xian domain. This also shows that the strengthening of humanity and morality is not enough. Well, it can't be said that it's not enough. It's inevitable that cultivators will be of different levels, but this kind of thing has to be dealt with. Lord Lin Ke, arrange for Tianjin Tower to monitor the situation in this area. Those who bully men and rape women will be killed without any misgivings or consideration of their background. Night Sorrow said as he looked at Tianjin Tower Lord Lin Daoyuan. Lin Daoyuan and Xie Lanjun nodded. Tianjin Tower had been strict with itself all these years. The development of the members under their command was on the path of elites. The results were great, and they had won Night Sorrow's trust. Also, the commander's manor support for some emerging forces will continue. This is because the Nine Regions world will accommodate more cultivators in the future, and the competition will be fierce. Night Sorrow looked at the members of the commander's manor and said. After everything was done, Night Sorrow returned to Sky City. Yang Lei and Aoi were back, and so were Yang Yu and Gong Xian. Master, elder senior brother is here. Don't blame me for what happened today. I really don't have the face to interfere, Night Sorrow said. 13. Everyone knows what kind of person you are. They only have themselves to blame. No one will blame you. Don't think too much about it, Yang Yu said. Gong Xian also tried to persuade Night Sorrow. He knew that Night Sorrow was in the most difficult position in this matter. On one side was a brother who had gone through life and death with him, and on the other side was the sect where he came from. Neither was easy to deal with. After learning about Gong Xian's arrangement, Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that Gong Xian, who had not been very involved in the affairs of the Medicine Valley, was now going to deal with it heavily. Lin Jingyi was the strongest cultivator in the Medicine Valley, except for the Taishan Peak. Even if he had to deal with her, it showed his attitude. I've always wanted to develop the Taishan Peak well, but in fact, there are some things that can't be avoided. The Medicine Valley's reputation is the Taishan Peak's reputation. No one will feel comfortable if the Medicine Valley's reputation is lost. Since this is the case, we have to deal with it ruthlessly, Gong Xian said. Let's use both the carrot and the stick. Night Sorrow, if you have nothing to do, you should go back and take a look at the Medicine Valley. It's best if the Medicine Valley doesn't go downhill, Yang Yu said to Night Sorrow after thinking for a while. Night Sorrow nodded. In his heart, he also didn't want the Medicine Valley to go downhill. I heard from 9th junior sister that Lin Jingyi went to the Heaven Ceiling Great Hall to look for you. Did she complain? Gong Xian asked with a smile. I don't know. I didn't see her. There's no need to. The truth is there. I don't want to hear what she has to say. It's meaningless. Night Sorrow shook his head. We left. The peak masters and elders of the Medicine Valley are still in a meeting. They have already changed their minds. This incident also caught everyone off guard. They can also see that other than Taishan Peak, the other peaks of the Medicine Valley together can't withstand the attack of an Emperor-level force, Yu Yangyu said. At this time, in the Great Hall of the Medicine Valley, other than Dai Tongnian, the other peak masters and elders were indeed in a meeting. Junior Sister Yi, today's facts have made us see clearly. Without Night Sorrow's support and without Taishan Peak's support, the Medicine Valley doesn't have any strength. If any Emperor-level force came to crush us, we wouldn't be able to withstand it. It's better for us to be down to earth in our development. At the very least, we have to stand on our moral ground, Yen Beiji said. The North Pole Peak had a rank 9 Emperor-level cultivator. Qin Zhen was one of them. However, he couldn't step in when the Medicine Valley had a conflict with Lei Bao, Lei Jing, and Yun Huang. Moreover, Lei Bao and the other two only declared war on the forces that made a big mistake. They didn't attack the Medicine Valley. In the past, Lei Bao, Lei Jing, Nan Liyue, and the others made their forces endure for the sake of friendship. Qin Zhen naturally couldn't ignore friendship. That's right. Bullying has happened. Who can stand out and support the Medicine Valley? No one can. It's good enough that the other forces didn't gang up on us. We have to correct our position and think. Today's incident was really embarrassing. We're ashamed to be on their side, Duan Lei also expressed his opinion. I apologize for today's incident. It's my fault, Yi Xiling stood up and said. Junior Sister Yi, please sit down first. We've known each other for more than 1,000 years. We know what kind of person you are. However, you've been a disciple of Crepe Myrtle. What happened during this period of time? If we don't change, the Medicine Valley might collapse. Who would be willing to be on the same side as the black sheep? Taishan Peak despises us now, Yen Beibei said with a bitter smile. It's not that we despise you. If we despise you, I wouldn't have come as an elder of Taishan Peak. In your words, we've done something wrong. Who can be so shameless as to cover up the shame? Tai Zong, an elder of Taishan Peak and the junior brother of Yu Yangyu, said. It's imperative to clean up the forces under each peak. We have to go back to the way it was before. We have to return to the path of the Medicine Valley. The Medicine Valley is our Medicine Valley. It's where all of our glory lies, Xueqi said. Chapter 2208. Night Sorrow told Huang Ling about the holy nature of the World Tree. He also said that the selected people had to be chased. Hearing this, Huang Ling was stunned. There's such a requirement. I don't know about this either. Go and ask now. Don't waste your time. Watching Huang Ling leave, Night Sorrow also knew that this request had come too suddenly. Cultivators had 7 emotions and 6 desires. Some people cultivated the heartless Tao, but very few. Most people had feelings in their hearts. They would have Tao companions and would get married to have descendants. An hour later, Huang Ling and the Heavenly Astral King arrived at Night Sorrow's residence. Huang Ling looked a little embarrassed. Young City Lord, I've embarrassed myself this time. Other than Fei, the others can't do it. This group of people is not tight. They really don't live up to expectations. Huang Ling was a little embarrassed because the selected people did not give her any face. It's okay. Just let nature take its course. Night Sorrow smiled. This was within his expectations. It was good that they were not completely wiped out. You're still in the mood to smile. There's only one left. Huang Ling was very shocked. G equals E positive R version hashtag first I hair. Actually, the one who succeeds is often the only one. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Huang Ling. The heavenly astral king patted Huang Ling's shoulder. Young city lord is right. One is enough. More are just decorations. You too. He said it's okay and you also said it's okay. Huang Ling rolled her eyes at the heavenly astral king. The heavenly astral king smiled. Night Sorrow, don't mind. Women are all like this. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that this was a sign of a good relationship between husband and wife. After chatting for a while, the heavenly astral king and Huang Ling left. After leaving Night Sorrow's residence, Huang Ling said, "Fortunately, Fei did well. If she didn't have chastity and the selected people were all wiped out, the two of us would really lose face." The heavenly astral king nodded. He naturally understood that if the selected people were not good, they would have wasted 30 years. They would not be able to explain this to the heavenly desolate city lord. Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea for himself. He was mentally prepared that the members chosen by the Ice Phoenix race would encounter problems. What are you thinking about? Aoi sat beside Night Sorrow. Nothing much. Did Master and eldest senior brother go back? If you don't go back, then try to persuade them to stay in Sky City for a few more days. Night Sorrow asked. Aoi shook her head. They all went back. Eldest senior brother's attitude has changed. He wants to deal with the Medicine Valley with a heavy blow. Master naturally has to support him, so they all went back together. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew that some things were inevitable. In the past, Gong Xian had an attitude of letting go, but now it was time for him to act. 13. I don't like Lin Jingyi. Some of her mistakes in the past can be explained by the fact that her relationship was not smooth and she was young. However, there are some things that she has no bottom line for. If she was serious about managing the family, such things would not have happened. The Lin family, a second-rate family, is so arrogant because of her support. Don't see her in the future. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow and said. If sixth senior sister says she won't see me, then I won't see her. I will listen to sixth senior sister. She probably won't see me in the future. Night Sorrow smiled. If one asked who Night Sorrow listened to the most among his wives, it would be Aoi. Aoi rarely asked Night Sorrow for anything. Everyone thought that Aoi knew right from wrong and understood the big picture. If the Medicine Valley has really changed, we can still go back more often. I like the Bamboo Forest Pavilion and the Bamboo Forest Peak. Aoi said. Night Sorrow nodded. All right, I will go back with you when I have time. Don't take this matter to heart. Lei Bao, Lei Zheng and Yun Huang were forced into a corner. If it was me, I wouldn't have let this matter go so easily. They have already restrained themselves. Night Sorrow knew that Aoi was a sensitive woman who valued relationships. I know. Why would I blame them? The Thunder Rumbling clan was suppressed so badly by the Medicine Valley in the past and they endured it. This time, they really went overboard. Sixth senior sister, you understand. Aoi smiled. She knew that Night Sorrow was being considerate towards her and was afraid that she would have a knot in her heart. After that, Aoi told Night Sorrow about Yi Qingyan and Zhang Yi. She told him about the development of their relationship. She wanted Night Sorrow, as a father, to care more about her. Sixth senior sister, I have known about this for a long time and have also noticed it. Zhang Yi has a good heart and is open-minded and kind. All these years, I have been teaching him like a child. Night Sorrow smiled. You didn't tell me anything and made me worried. Aoi glanced at Night Sorrow. Children and grandchildren have their own lives. Jean-Yi is eldest senior brother's child. It's good that we know his background. We don't have to care about their matters. Night Sorrow poured a cup of tea for Aoi and said, I am relieved that you know what to do. Here are some robes. Aoi took out a few battle robes and handed them to Night Sorrow. Haha. If you want to marry a wife, you have to find someone who loves you. Jean-Yi might not be so lucky. Your daughter is not like you in this aspect. Night Sorrow said after keeping the robes. That's not right. Women change. Once they find their other half, their thoughts will change. The most important thing is whether they love him enough. Yang Lei walked over with a pair of battle boots in her hands. Ha! Yes, look at your ninth senior sister. She used to have a big personality, but now she knows how to care for you. Aoi laughed. This is my fortune. Others can't be envious. Night Sorrow felt warm in his heart. His family was harmonious, his wife was virtuous, and his son was filial. This was what he was most grateful for. Yes, if one isn't enough, you can marry two. If two isn't enough, you can marry three. How can you not be blessed? Yang Lei sat down and looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. Night Sorrow didn't know how to reply. He felt a little awkward. You don't know, right? Father gave the order to the children. The boys can only marry one. Before the girls get married, they have to make an important request. They can only marry one wife. Otherwise, there's no room for discussion. The Yi family girls can't marry. Mother also supports this point. Aoi laughed. Yes. I didn't do this well. I don't have the face to say this to the children. The parents made a good request. Night Sorrow rubbed his face. He had always been strict with himself, but when it came to marriage, he really didn't do it well. Seeing Night Sorrow's embarrassment, Aoi and Yang Lei both laughed. This was because only they could see Night Sorrow like this. There's one more thing I didn't tell you. We threw Ling Shi into the celestial realm. We told him not to return home until he made a few friends and brought a few close friends home. Yang Lei said. That works. That's right. Ling Shi can't always play by himself. This is a good idea. After being stunned for a moment, Night Sorrow felt that this was a good idea. We discussed it together. We asked him not to reveal his identity. This way, he can have true friends and true love. Aoi said. Chapter 2209. Aoi and Yang Lei looked at Night Sorrow with disdain. However, they couldn't refute him because the children of the Yi clan were indeed outstanding. This was publicly acknowledged in the 9 regions world. Most importantly, they were virtuous and had inherited the Yi clan style. The children's talent is one thing. The main thing is that they were brought up well. Of course, the children were taught by you. It's all thanks to you, Night Sorrow said. These were his heartfelt words. He had always been fighting outside and didn't really care about his family and children. You didn't interact much with the children and didn't teach them verbally. However, no one taught them better than you. You are a role model in front of them. They are also strict with themselves. Aoi nodded. She knew that Night Sorrow didn't spend much time with the children. However, he was definitely a qualified father. After chatting for a while, I'm really happy. Let's go to the restaurant and have a good meal, Night Sorrow said as he stood up. Aoi and Yang Lei were also very happy. Night Sorrow's current state was very rare. Night Sorrow accompanied his wife to the restaurant in the Immortals' capital to eat. Unexpectedly, Night Sorrow met Yi Xiaoluo. Yi Xiaoluo was also drinking in the restaurant with his friends. Yi Xiaoluo wanted to greet them, but Night Sorrow and the other two turned their heads and pretended not to see them. Where were we? Yi Xiaoluo looked at his friends at the same table when he saw that his father and aunt didn't want to see him. You said 1 against 3. Continue. Let's see where you can go, a woman said. I'm serious. I'm not lying. Yi Xiaoluo pouted. 1 against 3. Forget it. It's not that interesting. His Majesty the Human Emperor defeated 5 Imperial Emperors on the Nirvana Ocean Bridge with his Emperor Realm cultivation. We'll talk about it when you can defeat 5 Imperial Emperors. Next topic. Come, let me moisten your throat first. The woman poured a cup of wine for Yi Xiaoluo. Lu Yu, it's boring for you to chat like this. I'm in high spirits. Do you think I'm bragging? Yi Xiaoluo said unhappily. Everyone at the table was laughing and asking Yi Xiaoluo to continue. Night Sorrow smiled at Yang Lei and Aoi. I can see that this guy is not like me, but he's living a happy life. Very good, a bunch of high-spirited kids together, this is life, Aoi said with a smile. Little guy. Any one of them is older than us, Yang Lei muttered. The truth was just as Yang Lei had said. Those who came out to train in the celestial realm and were at the same cultivation level as Yi Xiaoluo were not young. Night Sorrow's father could not even compare to them. After all, it was rare for a genius to have such achievements at such a young age. Xiaoluo, you are a cultivator from the Primal Chaos region. It is said that the human emperor used to be from the Primal Chaos region. Have you seen him before? Lu Yu, the woman sitting beside Yi Xiaoluo, asked. Yes, it's very common. Yi Xiaoluo nodded seriously. TSK. Sure. Everyone at the table was mocking him. Although they were mocking him, there was no disdain in their eyes. They were all joking. A bunch of bastards. How am I supposed to play? How am I supposed to drink this wine? Yi Xiaoluo slapped his forehead. He was telling the truth, but no one believed him. Aoi and Yang Lei wanted to laugh. They were really happy to see Yi Xiaoluo like this. Xiaoluo, lower your voice. Look at how quiet and civilized their table is. Pay attention to your manners. Lu Yu tugged at Yi Xiaoluo's sleeve. My voice is a bit loud, but you can't say that I have no manners. It doesn't sound nice. Yi Xiaoluo lowered his voice. He felt embarrassed that he was being called uncivilized in front of his father and aunt. No one else would do that except him. 6. Look at the original chapter. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei casually drank 2 cups of wine and had some food before leaving. Before leaving, Night Sorrow called for a waiter. Pay for that table too. That's not good. How can we do that? We have disturbed the 3 of you. Lu Yu stood up and said. It's nothing. It was fun listening to you guys chat. If there's a chance, you guys can treat us to a meal. This is good karma. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded at Yi Xiaoluo. Young people are not bad. You are high-spirited. That's how it should be. After Night Sorrow and the other 2 left, Yi Xiaoluo and the others sat down. Those 3 are not simple. A man said. His name was Jingyu. He was the oldest person at the table and also the one with the highest cultivation. He was an emperor. His aura is extraordinary. That man's smile is like a spring breeze. It can penetrate the bottom of one's heart. Although his eyes are calm, they can see through everything. Lu Yu said. The 2 women are emperors. The man is even more unfathomable. He looks like an ordinary person. Can he be an ordinary person? Obviously not. Then there is another possibility. He is at least an emperor. Jingyu said. There are only so many emperors in the celestial realm. Which one is it? Lu Yu muttered. If I say I know, you guys won't believe me. Yi Xiaoluo said. Then don't say it. 8 out of 10 sentences are unreliable. Fortunately, he is reliable. Otherwise. Lu Yu looked at Yi Xiaoluo with disdain. In the eyes of the group, Yi Xiaoluo was righteous and sincere to his friends. However, they did not listen to him. Yi Xiaoluo sighed in his heart. He really knew, but no one would believe him. There were some things he did not want to say. He did not want their friendship to become impure. The group of them did not care about family background. They only cared about personal relationships. We are done eating and drinking. We have to continue. We still have to dig out more spies from the Demon Wing race. In addition, I plan to join the Heaven Wasteland Army. I don't know what you guys think. We will have fewer chances to meet in the future. Jing Yu said. I have to consider this. I have to ask the elders. Yi Xiaoluo said softly. I have to ask the elders too. Lu Yu looked at Jing Yu and Yi Xiaoluo and said. Don't worry. We have communication crystals. We can meet at any time. Even if we are separated, we can send a message if anything happens. Brothers, friends, this is for life. Another man said. His name was Langley. He was the first to know Yi Xiaoluo. How do you feel seeing your son like this? After leaving the restaurant, Yang Lei laughed and asked. Interesting. It's good. Night Sorrow also laughed. He felt that this was real life. Lingxi will be like this in the future. Aoi said. She knew that Night Sorrow was most worried about Yi Lingxi. As for Yi Xiaoke, he was just a little tyrant. He lived in the ethereal empire. That was his mother's territory. Night Sorrow, Aoi, and Yang Lei only went to the divine capital for a drink before returning to the Heaven Wasteland City. His cultivation realm and combat skills had reached a bottleneck. Night Sorrow's life was quiet. On Night Sorrow's day, he met Pu Luo. Alliance Master, Lu Qi has successfully entered the tribulation of the 6 emperors. He wants to celebrate. Shall we go to his Lu family manor later? Pu Luo brought news of Lu Qi. Chapter 22:10. Of course, we have to prepare some gifts. Night Sorrow nodded. Lu Qi had helped protect Xingyue City for so long, so he was very grateful. Okay, I'll go ask the Great Demon King and the others. If you want to go, we'll go together. Pu Luo said. After sending Pu Luo off, Night Sorrow took out 100 Monarch Spirit Stones and 2 Emperor Spirit Stones and put them away. He didn't need to think too much about it. Using Spirit Stones was the most practical way. The Lu family manor is very famous in the celestial realm. However, I've never heard of a disciple of the Lu family traveling in the celestial realm. Lin Piao Miao, who had been in the manor, said. Maybe it's like our family. The disciples of the family don't report their background when they go out. They rely on their own abilities. Yang Lei smiled. Some families were like that. Night Sorrow and the others nodded. They all supported Yang Lei's point of view. Then let's wait for the news from Pu Luo's side and go there together. A tribulation of the 6 emperors has appeared among the 100 clans of the Heaven Realm. This is great news, Yi Shang said. He was very happy to hear this news. Pu Luo returned quickly. He still had some things to do with the Great Demon King. He would go with the Great Demon King, Yu Zhu, and Ruisi later. He wouldn't go with Night Sorrow. You guys go. I have to watch the Divine Devil Castle and see if there's any news from the Demon Winged clan. You can represent me. Lin Piao Miao said. She had a lot of things to do now. Knight Sorrow nodded. Everyone knew that Lin Piao Miao was busy. Lu Qi didn't mind. After preparing the gifts, Knight Sorrow took Aoi and Yang Lei to the teleportation array and set off. 4 hours later, the three of them arrived at Lu Qi's family territory. Because of Lu Qi, the Lu family was a famous family in the celestial realm. However, they didn't have much contact with other forces. It was a quiet and peaceful area. Lu Qi lived in a simple place called the Lu family manor. However, the manor was very big. The direct descendants of the Lu family all lived here. Knight Sorrow and the other two arrived at the Lu family manor's teleportation array. As they enjoyed the scenery along the way, Yishang and the other two arrived at the entrance of the Lu clan's manor. Lu Qi was already waiting. Both he and Yishang were mid-stage Imperial Tribulation cultivators, so they could sense each other's aura. He could also identify Yishang's aura. Young City Lord, you're so busy, but you still came. Please come in. I have to drink with you and the two young madams today. Seeing Yishang grow up and reach the middle stage of the Four Emperor Tribulation, Lu Qi was very pleased. After entering the manor, Lu Qi took the three of them to a quiet courtyard. Lu Yu, take out the great ancestors' good tea to entertain the guests. Okay. A woman came out with a pot of tea. Seeing Yishang and the other two, the woman was stunned. Yishang was also stunned because she was the one who was drinking with Yi Xiaoluo at the same table. Why are you three here? Lu Yu said after being stunned. What do you mean you three? Don't be rude. Hurry up and greet the human emperor and his two wives. Young city lord, please don't be offended. Lu Qi glared at Lu Yu. Ah. Lu Yu greets the three lords. Yi Xiaoluo, this scoundrel, really knows how to swindle people. How dare he say he's seen the mortal emperor? That day, the mortal emperor was right in front of him, and he didn't even recognize him. Yi Xiaoluo. Young city lord, isn't that your family's fourth brother? Lu Qi was a little confused. He looked at Knight Sorrow and then at his great-grandson Lu Yu. He had stayed in Xinyue City for a long time and knew Yi Xiaoluo. Ha! Seventh sect elder, you must be joking. Our family's children don't talk about their background and family matters when they go out to train. This way, they can have true friends and find Dao companions in the future. Their feelings will be pure. I support this. That day, Xiaoluo was drinking with his friends. I met him by chance and didn't let him say hello. You're Lu Yu, right? You can't blame Xiaoluo for this. Knight Sorrow said with a smile. That's too abrupt. I'm familiar with Xiaoluo. I didn't mean to scold him. Lu Yu was a little embarrassed. Scolding a child in front of his parents was a little unreasonable. T latest chapter Bu Festival %2 inch it's nothing. As his father, I support him to have his own life. He can't be influenced by his elders. I believe that your circle doesn't know that you're a descendant of the seventh sect elder, right? Knight Sorrow shook his head. Lu Yu nodded. She also never said that she was a descendant of the Lu family manor. The two of us have the same view. Our achievements are the result of our own hard work. We can protect the future generations from being bullied, but that is not the right for them to flaunt their prowess. Lu Qi nodded. Your Majesty and Great Ancestor, your realms are too high. Only now do I realize that Xiaoluo is telling the truth most of the time. We're a bunch of fools. We all thought that he was bragging. Lu Yu was still cursing Yi Xiaoluo in her heart because this made her lose face. Ha! Now that you know, it doesn't affect anything. No matter what you do, it's important to have a good start. In the celestial realm, I admire the children of the Yi family the most. Every one of them is so outstanding. The Yi family was the biggest winner in the heaven, earth, human, and monarch ranking assembly. Lu Qi gave Knight Sorrow a thumbs up. Seventh sect elder, you're too kind. The Yi family is a new family. There's still a long way to go. Knight Sorrow said. You can see the future by looking at the present. The Yi family is virtuous and has a good family style. This is the inheritance. Lu Qi said. Then, Lu Qi apologized. In order to improve his realm and cultivation, he left the Tianhuang city and the sect elder's stall. Knight Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao had to work hard to take over. Seventh sect elder is too polite. This is a small gift to congratulate seventh sect elder. Knight Sorrow took out the gift. Great ancestor, take a look at what His Majesty gave. Lu Yu was very interested in Knight Sorrow's gift. Lu Qi glared at Lu Yu. It was very impolite to open a gift in front of a guest. I'm a careless person and don't know how to choose a gift. I just took some high-level spirit stones. I hope it will help seventh sect elder. Knight Sorrow smiled. He felt that Lu Yu was not bad. She was not pretentious and said whatever she wanted. After looking at the gift, Lu Qi shook his head. The young city lord is in charge of the Tianhuang city. There are many places that need this. I can't accept it. Knight Sorrow said that he still had more. Only then did Lu Qi reluctantly accept it. His Majesty, I want a gift too. Lu Yu shouted. Knight Sorrow rubbed his forehead and looked at his two wives. I didn't prepare anything. What's suitable? You bastard girl. You're getting more and more out of hand. I love you the most in the family. You're going to turn the world upside down. Lu Qi looked at Lu Yu and laughed. He knew that Knight Sorrow wouldn't mind. I heard that His Majesty is an emperor-level blacksmith. I want a weapon. It doesn't matter if the weapon is good or bad. It's fine as long as it has His Majesty's signature. The most important thing is the words. Lu Yu said. In fact, she didn't care about the gift at all. What she wanted was Knight Sorrow's signature. Chapter 22:11. Even if your Majesty knows, don't say it out loud. It's too awkward. Lu Yu said with a smile, but she didn't feel awkward at all. Then I'll make it for you. Knight Sorrow nodded and began to search for the materials. Bastard girl, hurry up and make tea. In addition, go and take the 2 jars of wine that the great ancestor treasures and arrange for the servants to prepare the dishes. After Lu Qi chased Lu Yu away, he looked at Knight Sorrow with an embarrassed expression. He hadn't expected Lu Yu's move. Knight Sorrow nodded at Lu Qi and took out the clear sky pagoda. He entered the clear sky pagoda and began to forge the weapon in the time acceleration. He didn't need to ask Lu Yu for anything. Lu Yu had a sword at her waist and Knight Sorrow could see her attributes. That was enough. Half an hour later, Knight Sorrow appeared with a long sword. Lu Qi was talking to Aoi and Yang Lei while Lu Yu was listening. Seeing Knight Sorrow come out and the long sword in his hand, Lu Yu's eyes were filled with excitement. It should suit you. See if you like it. I haven't forged weapons in a long time. Knight Sorrow handed the weapon to Lu Yu. At this moment, Lu Yu carefully tidied her robes and bent down to receive the sword with both hands, showing her sincerity. Extreme to the sword, extreme to the Tao. Very good. I hope this weapon will be of use to you. Knight Sorrow placed the sword in Lu Yu's hand. Lu Yu was a little presumptuous today. I hope your Majesty and the 2 madams won't take offense. Lu Yu will pour wine to apologize later. Lu Yu bowed to Knight Sorrow. He won't. Yi Shan shook his head. Lu Yu, you have to remember that the Yi family doesn't lack magnanimity. Otherwise, great ancestor would have coaxed you out. Lu Qi looked at Lu Yu and said. Lu Yu nodded. She understood some things. Positive hashtag version 2M. After the banquet was set, Lu Yu poured some wine but didn't sit at the table. She knew the difference between the young and the old, which was also the upbringing of the Lu family. Seventh elder, let Lu Yu sit down. This isn't appropriate. You don't have to treat us as guests, just treat us as family, Knight Sorrow said. He couldn't say how the Yi clan behaved normally because this was the Lu clan. Lu Qi nodded to Lu Yu and asked her to sit down. Lu Yu, great ancestor has something to say today. You were able to meet His Majesty because of good karma. You must cherish this good karma and do your best. Great ancestor thinks highly of you and the Lu family. Lu Yu stood up and bowed to Lu Qi and Knight Sorrow. Lu Yu will remember this. I hope your Majesty can give me some pointers in the future. Knight Sorrow gestured for Lu Yu to sit down. You and Xiao Luo are friends. If Xiao Luo has any shortcomings, you should give him some advice. While chatting, Lu Yu asked Lu Qi if she could join the Heaven Wasteland army. Lu Qi objected. He explained his point of view in front of Knight Sorrow. He felt that serving the Celestial Realm's 100 races didn't necessarily mean that she had to join the Heaven Wasteland army. Lu Yu was in the cultivation stage, and it was most important to improve her cultivation first. The Celestial Realm's forces needed young people to continue. Xiao Luo wants to join. Does your Majesty agree? Lu Yu looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. I think he's also in the cultivation stage. There's no point in rushing to join the Heaven Wasteland army. If there's a war, he can fight at any time. If he's not part of the Heaven Wasteland army, he can't fight. Of course, this is only my opinion. He can make his own decision, Knight Sorrow said after thinking for a while. After hearing Lu Qi and Knight Sorrow's words, Lu Yu gave up the idea of joining the Heaven Wasteland army immediately. She was sure that Lu Qi and Knight Sorrow both had a big picture view and their views couldn't be wrong. After staying in the Lu family's manor for a day, Knight Sorrow left with Yang Lei and Aoi. 13. Is Xiao Luo's matter also mostly resolved? Yang Lei looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. Ninth senior sister, you're thinking too far ahead. They have a good relationship, but I can't say for sure. Let's just let nature take its course. Knight Sorrow smiled. After Knight Sorrow left, Lu Qi began to lecture Lu Yu. He hoped that Lu Yu wouldn't tell the others about Yi Xiaoluo's background. What happened in the past, what will happen in the future. However, he emphasized that the Yi family was sincere. They could be trusted and could be friends with them. After promising Lu Qi, Lu Yu took the weapon Knight Sorrow gave her and left the Lu family's manor. What was she going to do? Naturally, she was going to show off to Yi Xiaoluo. After returning to the Tianhuang city, Knight Sorrow began to cultivate. In less than 2 years, he would go to the ancient world. The world tree was a supreme treasure, and the 100 races of the celestial realm wanted it. In addition, if he could get the world tree, and if he and Mo Tianji contributed greatly, he would tell the elders that he wanted to put his hopes in Xingyue City. He also had to consider the 9 domains world. Knight Sorrow also planned to talk to Tran Hung and King Yawu about this. Of course, the premise was that he could get the world tree. While his doppelganger was cultivating, Knight Sorrow only cultivated the Heaven Attraction chant. As for the primordial destruction / Knight Sorrow still didn't feel anything. He also knew the reason. It was because the level of the infinity attribute was low, and there was a gap between it and the other attributes. In other words, the bottleneck of his infinity attribute was the bottleneck of the taboo attribute. It was also the bottleneck for the primordial destruction / to reach perfection. Knight Sorrow's primordial destruction / was already very powerful. Apart from the Heaven Attraction chant, which consumed a lot of soul power. It was his strongest combat skill. However, he pursued perfection and hadn't reached it yet. There was a fundamental difference between the primordial destruction slash and the heaven attraction chant. The heaven attraction chant was slow to activate and consumed a lot of soul power. It was a big move that was ready to be used. On the other hand, the primordial destruction slash was a combat skill that could be used at any time and could be used continuously. This was also the reason why Night Sorrow had been pursuing perfection. A combat skill that could be used continuously was the support for a long battle. After 2 months, Mo Yuqing felt that things were stable. She wanted to move on to the next step, which was to send out spies to scout the realms next to the 100 races of the celestial realm. Since she couldn't take down the 9 domains world, then Mo Yuqing also wanted to develop. She planned to first find a domain to use as a base for development. This way, the Demon Wing clan would also have a foundation in the celestial realm. There was also a domain next to Heaven Wasteland domain, but there was only one. At present, the Demon Wing clan was developing, and the other was close to Heaven Wasteland domain. These 2 domains couldn't enter the celestial realm. If they occupied the domain next to the celestial realm, then the Demon Wing clan would have no problem developing or waging war. After sending out the spies, Mo Yuqing once again looked at the information in her hands, her eyes full of annoyance. It was all information about Night Sorrow, which was collected some time ago. She also had the information that Night Sorrow had entered the intermediate Emperor Tribulation level. This was the reason why she was so annoyed. She had worked very hard to cultivate, but the result was that she was 2 levels behind Night Sorrow. The City Lord of Heaven Wasteland Domain, Tran Hung, had returned to Heaven Wasteland City. Some things had been investigated clearly. He couldn't get close to the World Tree, and had to proceed according to the original plan. After listening to Night Sorrow's words, Tran Hung knew that there was only one person chosen by the Ice Phoenix race. He was also helpless. City Lord, Mo Tianji's intelligence is also not bad. If we don't have any objections, I can bring her along when the time comes, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 22:12. Requests. If we succeed in obtaining the World Tree, she hopes, or rather, she and I both hope that the World Tree can be placed in Starmoon City so that both the 9-domain world and the Celestial Realm can benefit, Night Sorrow said. That's reasonable. In addition, only those who can approach the World Tree and recognize it will have an effect. Other people's requests are useless. Among the 3 possible people, you and her are more likely than Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei is also from the 9-domain world. Besides, if the World Tree is placed in Starmoon City, it will still be in the Celestial Realm. It won't affect the future of the Celestial Realm. Tran Hung explained his attitude and the stakes. In other words, no matter who controls the World Tree, it would be useless even if others wanted to interfere. Tran Hung asked about Night Sorrow's cultivation situation. He was not stingy with his guidance. He hoped that Night Sorrow would rise as soon as possible. Night Sorrow explained the current situation. The cultivation of the realm can only be done slowly. As for the bottleneck of the peerless attribute, it requires an opportunity or a flash of inspiration. Others can't help you. But you're good. In such a short time, you've cultivated the taboo attribute to the peak of the high level. One more step and you'll be a top-level taboo attribute. I'm looking forward to it. Tran Hung nodded to Night Sorrow. Tran Hung also specialized in the taboo attribute. But after countless years, the destruction and peerless attributes were complete. The space attribute could not be raised, so the taboo attribute's level was relatively low. After chatting with Night Sorrow for a while, Tran Hung went to Yawu Mountain. He had some things to discuss with King Yawu. Night Sorrow knew that there was no point in going into seclusion. What he lacked was actual combat and opportunities. He felt that going to the ancient world might be an opportunity. 2 months later, after evading several pursuits of the members of the Fiend God Castle of the Celestial Realm, Darkfeather Qing led people into the Tianjiang domain, which was the domain once ruled by the Yuanji family. Later, Motian II of the Demon Wing clan had joined forces with Yuanji, but was eradicated by the ethereal imperial court. This was recorded in the Demon Wing clan, so some of Mo Yuqing's plans went smoothly. He occupied the Sky General domain, destroyed the original transmission array, and built a new transmission array. Most J Newbie Chapter Supra KW1 end of the new teleportation array was in an extremely hidden place in the Celestial Realm, and the other end was a teleportation array controlled by the Demon Wing clan in the Heavenfall domain. As soon as the teleportation portal was destroyed, the Ethereal Dynasty knew about it. However, the teleportation portal became a one-way portal. The Demon-Winged clan could enter and leave, but the people of the Celestial Realm could not. The situation was the same as the last time when Motian II and Yuanji joined forces. Unless they dug out the location of the Demon Wing clan's teleportation portal in the Celestial Realm, it was undoubtedly like looking for a needle in a haystack. It was extremely difficult. Night Sorrow, Lin Piaomiao, Yang Lei, and Aoi arrived at the Ethereal Imperial Court. After listening to the report, Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. It doesn't matter. Later I'll ask Tran Hung how to enter the foreign domain, or if Tran Hung has a way. Even if we can enter, it will be very troublesome. This time, the Demon Wing clan is very cautious, or even good at scheming. There are doppelgangers of our people who reported the situation. The teleportation portal was destroyed by the Demon Wing clan, but we only saw a member of the Demon Wing clan once. They are also developing in the dark in the Heavenfall domain. Even if we enter, we may not be able to catch them, Lin Piaomiao said. This is my fault. I didn't guard it well enough. Luo Yuandao stood up and apologized. He was responsible for most of the matters in the Heavenfall domain. This is not your fault. They have been scheming. They can find any loophole they want. Pay attention to the defense of other areas. Don't let them sneak attack you. In addition, investigate the other domains near our Ethereal Dynasty and give me a copy of the distribution map. Night Sorrow shook his head. He knew that no one was to blame for this. When the Demon Wing clan was sincere in scheming, some places could not be guarded. Luo Yuandao and Elder Nayla nodded. They were waiting to be scolded, but Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao did not say anything harsh. After giving some instructions, Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao left the City Lord's mansion. After sending Yang Lei and Aoi to the teleportation portal back to the 9-domain world, the two of them communicated as they teleported to Tianhuang City. Night Sorrow, this is really unavoidable. Not all domains can be as impregnable as the 9-domain world. Our cultivators are too weak compared to their elite team, Lin Piaomiao said. I understand. Now let's see how to solve this matter. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew how much effort he had put into the defense of the 9-domain world in Xingyue City. When they arrived at Tianhuang City, Night Sorrow went to Tran Hung's 9 Dragons Cauldron. When Night Sorrow arrived, Tran Hung appeared. The two of them entered a small space in the 9 Dragons Cauldron. Night Sorrow and Tran Hung had absolute trust in each other. Night Sorrow could control the Tianhuang Pagoda, and he had no qualms about letting others in because he trusted him. Night Sorrow told Tran Hung about the situation in the Tianjiang domain and asked Tran Hung if there was any way to solve it. Yes, some world origins will control the spatial barrier to exclude cultivators above the king level from entering, but it's not absolute. It's not difficult to break through the world's barrier when one's spirit and mind are integrated into heaven and earth. The difficult part is to find the location in the spatial turbulence. The Tianjiang domain and Celestial Realm use king-grade teleportation stones, so the distance shouldn't be too far. For this matter, let the Misty Empire's men in the Tianjiang domain investigate them. If there are any clues, spend some effort to deal with them. Enchanting should know about this too. Tran Hung said. So that's the case. That means the world's barrier can't stop cultivators above the divine soul unity realm from entering. The 9-domain world has to take note of this too. Night Sorrow was shocked. Don't worry, I'm talking about ownerless, low-level spatial worlds. The 9-domain world has you as the realm lord, but cultivators above the divine soul unity realm won't be able to enter. Tran Hung reassured Night Sorrow. After hearing Tran Hung's words, Night Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief. If they couldn't prevent cultivators above the divine soul unity realm from entering, then the defense of Starmoon City and 9-domain city would be ineffective. Also, you're now the virtuous emperor. If you have the virtuous fire to protect you, the barrier of the spatial world should be ineffective against you. You can try it if you have the chance. Tran Hung said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow really didn't know about this. Now that he understood the main points, he felt that the Tianjiang domain wasn't a big problem. At the very least, the devil-winged race wouldn't be able to occupy it. Tran Hung told Night Sorrow that he would go to the Tianjiang domain later to set up a secret teleportation array. He would activate it whenever he needed it. After Mo Yuqing led the troops into the Tianjiang domain, she reported the situation to Mo Zhantian. Mo Zhantian rejected her action because it was untenable. There were at least 2 people in the celestial realm who could break through the world's barrier. Tran Hung and King Yowu could do it. Therefore, they still had to hide their tracks. This was also the main reason why the troops of the Ethereal Empire couldn't find them in the Tianjiang domain. Chapter 22:13. Thinking of the 9 domains world, Darkfeather felt a strong sense of powerlessness. Because the defense of the 9 domains world was too tight, whether it was from the inside to the outside, or the control of the people coming in and out, it had reached the point where she could not do anything. Without a plan for the next step, Darkfeather could only stand firm in the dark. In addition, he also made a plan to leave the Heavenly General Domain if there was any danger, use the Heavenly General Domain as a cover to attract the attention of the people of the Heavenly Realm, and then go elsewhere to develop. After thinking about the problem, Night Sorrow and Lin Piamiao's original body stayed in the Heaven Wasteland City, while the 2 clones returned to the Night Moon Villa of the Ethereal Imperial Court, because this was the fastest way to get the news. When the 2 returned, in the Night Moon Villa, the 2 brothers Yi Xiaoluo and Yi Xiaokei were drinking. Seeing that Night Sorrow and Lin Piamiao had returned, the 2 hurriedly got up to greet them. You 2 brothers are very comfortable. After Night Sorrow sat down, he waved his hand to let the 2 sit down, and then asked about Yi Shou's cultivation. Lord Father, you're wrong too. I'm already so old and I haven't seen you refine any weapons or armor for me. You've refined them for others and slapped me in the face. Yi Xiaoluo said. Bastard boy, no one has said that your father is wrong in front of your father. Lin Piamiao reached out and knocked Yi Xiaoluo on the head. Ha! Father and your 2 concubines went to the Lu family villa as guests and saw Lu Yu. Since it's good karma, I gave her a gift. Men should be more tolerant, it's not a bad thing to be joked about and slapped in the face. Night Sorrow explained to his son with a smile. Xiaoluo knows, I just wanted to find a topic to chat with father and concubines. Yi Xiaoluo said with a smile. You child. Lin Piamiao shook her head. Yi Xiaoluo was like this, it was also his character. Then Yi Xiaoluo said that he originally wanted to join the Heaven Wasteland Army, but after hearing Lu Yu's words, he dismissed the idea. Xiaokei, when you are free, go out with your 4th brother for a walk. Don't just stay in the Misty Dynasty. You are the 4th brother and you are doing very well, Lin Piamiao looked at her son and said. No, I still have to wait. With my cultivation level, I'll be easily bullied if I go out. It's a small matter if I get bullied, but it's a big matter if I embarrass you and father, said Yi Xiaokei. If you don't tell us, who will know that you are our son? It's not us who will be embarrassed. If you're afraid of being embarrassed, then work harder. Lin Piaomiao glared at Yi Xiaokei. Yi Xiaokei wanted to say something, but he swallowed it back. Lin Piaomiao was very strict with him. Little Luo, it's good to have some precautions when making friends. But once you become friends, there's no need to deliberately hide it. If you have friends, you can bring them home. This isn't showing off, it's sincerity. Your mother, your aunts, and I all support you. Besides, father can tell at a glance what kind of person a friend is, Night Sorrow said. Little Luo understands. But if little Luo feels that it's necessary, then we'll talk about it. For now, there's no need. Yi Xiaoluo naturally understood what Night Sorrow meant. He could help him check. Just as the family was chatting, Tran Hung came. We're chatting as a family. I'll set up a teleportation array here. Then, I'll set up another one at the Tianjiang domain. After the connection is completed, we'll activate it whenever we need it. Thank you for your hard work, City Lord. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Tran Hung. Then, he began to set up the teleportation array. Naturally, he couldn't let Tran Hung do it personally. After the teleportation array was set up, Tran Hung inserted a top-notch rank 8 teleportation crystal and left. She was going to proceed with the next step. Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao stayed in the Night Moon Villa. Yi Xiaoluo brought his brother Yi Xiaokei out. He received a notice from the team that they were going on an adventure. Night Sorrow wouldn't stop such a thing. Half a month later, Tran Hung came back through the teleportation array. It's set up in a large canyon. There's no problem with its safety. It can be activated at any time. I'll go back now. When the spiritual woman from the Ice Phoenix race comes out of seclusion, I'll inform you. We'll head to the ancient world. After sending off Tran Hung, Night Sorrow prepared for the upcoming expedition to the ancient world. On this day, Night Sorrow, who was meditating with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. His body flashed and stood outside the teleportation array. Lin Piaomiao also arrived because they saw Yi Xiaokei, whose robes were covered in blood. Father, mother, hurry up and save them. Save my fourth brother and the others. They're in danger now. Yi Xiaokei didn't care about his injuries and anxiously shouted to Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao. Let's go. Night Sorrow wrapped Lin Piaomiao and Yi Xiaokei with energy and entered the teleportation array. Yi Xiaokei led the way and teleported. He also told Night Sorrow about the situation. Yi Xiaoluo received a notice from the team. Their group followed the other training teams into an alternate dimension. Not long after they entered, they were surrounded and attacked by the foreign races. The other teams all died. Because Jingyu, Langli, Lu Yu, and Yi Xiaoluo's combat strength were relatively good, they didn't die on the spot. They tried their best to stop them and only then did Yi Xiaokei come back to report. +2 go fast +2 inch bullsh * T alternate dimension. I don't know which foreign world this is. Lin Piaomiao cursed. Because there were almost no strong experts in the alternate dimension, it was impossible to injure Yi Xiaoluo and the others. It was definitely the power of the foreign world. Night Sorrow increased the energy to activate the teleportation array's teleportation crystal. 2 hours later, they arrived at the entrance of the foreign world. He let Lin Piaomiao guard the entrance and take care of Yi Xiaokei. He entered the spatial tunnel and flew in the direction Yi Xiaokei said. At this moment, in a mountainous area of the foreign world, Yi Xiaoluo, Jingyu, Langli, Lu Yu, and a cultivator called Kiki were surrounded and attacked. They were all seriously injured. Brothers and sisters, this time it's my fault. I brought everyone to a dangerous place. If there's a chance, retreat. Let's be brothers again in the next life. Jingyu didn't care about his own safety as he fought with the foreign races who had scales on their faces. Haha. Jingyu, there's no meaning in saying that. Since we're brothers, let's fight together. If we die in battle, we'll walk side by side on the road to hell. Yi Xiaoluo laughed loudly. There was a big hole in his chest that kept bleeding, but his aura wasn't weak at all. He didn't have any regrets because he had sent his younger brother away and could answer to his parents and aunt. Xiaoluo, you're heroic. If you can survive this time, I won't hurt you anymore. Lu Yu said. Yi Xiaoluo's most serious injury was paid for her. Xiaoluo, you have the greatest potential. If there's a chance, take Lu Yu with you. Langley also shouted. He and Yi Xiaoluo were sworn brothers and their relationship was the deepest. All of you will die. At this moment, a man in battle armor appeared. Chapter 22:14. Yi Xiaoluo knew that after his brother escaped, he would definitely inform his father and aunt to come. As long as one of them came, the crisis would be resolved. At this moment, Night Sorrow's flying speed in the alternate dimension had increased to the maximum. It was almost like teleportation. He knew that if he could buy more time, Yi Xiaoluo would be in less danger. If he was slow, Yi Xiaoluo would die easily. Night Sorrow also cursed. Yi Xiaoluo had not shattered his soul crystal yet. He could only search according to the general direction and deduce from the battlefield and traces. The distance was too far and they were in an alternate dimension. He could not shatter the soul crystal on Yi Xiaoluo's body. After flying for a while, Night Sorrow sensed the aura of his soul crystal and immediately increased his speed. Jingyu and the others were in a worse situation. The 5 of them were suppressed and retreated together. Yi Xiaoluo's chest was pierced and his left arm was twisted strangely. Half of Jingyu's neck was broken and Langley was standing there with one leg. What are you guys doing? I didn't expect our Scarlet Sky realm to be so close to the Supreme World. You guys are the first battle of our Scarlet Sky realm. The man in armor appeared in front of all the foreign race warriors in a flash. Damn, I can't see his cultivation. I can't help dying in the hands of the Emperor. Jingyu said. He was helpless and had to accept his fate because the difference was too big. You bully us because our cultivation is low. My father or Aunt Lin can crush a piece of trash like you. Yi Xiaoluo wiped his mouth and said. Brother. The Emperor is not easy to deal with. Langley said with a bitter smile. The Emperor was too strong in front of them. I believe Xiaoluo's words. Lu Yu said. She knew Yi Xiaoluo's background. Not only was Night Sorrow strong, Lin Piamiao's strength was also known by everyone in the celestial realm. Don't talk about my father and aunt. Even a random uncle would be able to peel off his skin. Damn it, Ba. Yi Xiaoluo spat out a mouthful of bloody saliva. Shameless boasting. Die first. The man in armor waved his battle blade and charged towards Yi Xiaoluo. Wang. The world's energy vibrated as a blood-red spear tore through the sky, arriving before Yi Xiaoluo. The end of the spear trembled constantly, causing the space's energy to vibrate and resonate with it. The armored man hurriedly retreated. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't boast shamelessly. You don't have the right to kill him. Night Sorrow arrived. His white robes fluttered as he casually took a step forward and arrived in front of Yi Xiaoluo and the others. Sir. Seeing Night Sorrow's arrival, Jingyu, Langley, and Kiki, who had seen Night Sorrow before, all nodded in greeting. Sorry, Xiaoluo has embarrassed you. Yi Xiaoluo said in a low voice. What's so embarrassing about it? Night Sorrow nodded at Yi Xiaoluo. It doesn't matter if you lose. As long as you have the courage, it's fine. We, the children of the Yi clan, should know shame and be brave. Yi Xiaoluo bowed. His heart was very warm. His father had arrived at the crucial moment. He didn't say any harsh words and only supported him. Who are you? The Scarlet Night Kingdom's soldier commander looked at Night Sorrow with vigilance. He couldn't see through Night Sorrow's strength. Celestial Realm Night Sorrow. Let's not talk about your encirclement. You even bully the weak. Do you think our celestial realm doesn't have people? Kill. Night Sorrow's right hand grabbed the blood-chilling evil punishing spear. His body created an afterimage as he directly struck the Scarlet Night Kingdom's leader's head. Soon after, the Scarlet Night Kingdom's leader's body disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Beginning Great Annihilation / This was the first time Night Sorrow used Beginning Great Annihilation / in battle. Under the suppression of the Forbidden Dao domain, the Scarlet Night Kingdom's high-class emperor couldn't fight back. Spearlight danced and afterimages crisscrossed. In just a moment, the foreign race soldiers surrounding Yi Xiaoluo were all killed. You guys go back first and recover your wounds before fighting. There will be people waiting for you at the spatial tunnel. Night Sorrow's body flashed and left after speaking. He had to investigate the Scarlet Night Kingdom situation and see if it was the same as the last apocalypse. Also, Night Sorrow was worried that the Scarlet Night Kingdom was an ancient world because there were traces of endless vicissitudes in its aura. Seeing Night Sorrow leave, Yi Xiaoluo and the others flew towards the spatial tunnel. Although they were heavily injured, it didn't affect their flight. You initial F, here, the celestial realm only has one Night Sorrow. That is Sir Human Emperor. Yi Xiaoluo. Langley looked at Yi Xiaoluo. Ah. That's my father. I didn't intentionally hide it from you guys. When I said I knew the Human Emperor and often saw him, you guys didn't believe me. If I said more, it would just be showing off. Yi Xiaoluo explained. We can understand this. The relationship between us has nothing to do with family background. However, it's true that your family background is terrifying, Jingyu said with a smile. Jingyu said with a smile. Currently, the most powerful person in the heaven realm was none other than Yishang. In addition, Night Sorrow didn't just have a high reputation, his strength was also recognized. The group of people exited the spatial tunnel and saw Lin Piaomiao and Yi Xiaokei. Xiaoluo greets aunt. Yi Xiaoluo bowed to Lin Piaomiao. The others bowed as well. They all knew about the Grand Elder of the Council of Elders. Your injuries are very serious. Xiaoluo, bring your little brother and your friends to Yeyue Mountain Villa to treat their injuries first. Aunt still has things to do. Take this healing medicine and distribute it to everyone. Lin Piaomiao took out the healing medicine and handed it to Yi Xiaoluo. Aunt is so considerate. Father didn't even give me any healing medicine. Although Yi Xiaoluo was heavily injured, he didn't stop talking. Look at you now. You still dare to talk about your father. If your father died a little later, would you still be alive? Lin Piaomiao glared at Yi Xiaoluo. Yi Xiaoluo brought Yi Xiaokei and a few friends back to Night Moon Manor to recover. After their injuries were more or less under control, the group of people met in the main hall of the Night Moon Manor. Little Six, fourth brother let you down this time. Yi Xiaoluo looked at Yi Xiaokei and said. Fourth brother, you're not reliable. You always boast that you're the second emperor of the Yi clan. You said that I would live a good life if I went out with you. In the end, I almost got killed and lost half my life. Yi Xiaokei looked at Yi Xiaoluo and said. Accident, it was completely an accident. This is the first time something like this happened. You happened to see it. Don't tell eldest sister and third sister. They will scold me to death. Yi Xiaoluo was embarrassed by Yi Shou's words. You also have people you're afraid of. Lu Yu said with a smile. My eldest sister and third sister are much scarier than my father, mother, and aunt. Xiaoluo, are you? Yi Xiaoluo looked at Yi Xiaokei and asked. This is the truth. Fourth brother, brothers and sisters, Xiaokei is here to thank everyone for risking their lives to protect me. Xiaokei ran away first not because he was afraid of death, but because he felt that it was useless to stay. He might as well hurry back and call for help. Xiaokei will remember this kindness. Yi Xiaokei stood up and bowed to Yi Xiaoluo, Jingyu, and the others. Chapter 22:15. Xiaoluo, what do you think now? Lu Yu looked at Yi Xiaoluo and asked. What else can I think about? We're going out to train. We can deal with small fish and shrimps, but we can't eat big crabs. We should improve our cultivation first. Brother Jingyu, don't join the Heaven Wasteland Army. It's more important to improve your strength first, Yi Xiaoluo said. I'll listen to you and Lu Yu this time. If you don't want to join, then I won't. I'm not strong enough, Jingyu lamented. Langley, what are you thinking about? Do you still want to go to the Heaven Wasteland City and join the Heaven Wasteland Army? Lu Yu looked at Langley and asked. No, after I saw the human emperor's spear skills, I felt that my spear skills were like a child's waving a stick around, Langley lamented. There's no comparison. It's the truth. We're much older than His Majesty, but our experience and strength can't compare. His Majesty has been through hundreds of battles, and his strength is the result of killing. The things we've experienced are like playing house in front of him, Lu Yu said. After experiencing this, the 6 people present were deeply moved. Because they had almost been completely wiped out, they stayed in the Night Moon Mountain Villa to heal their wounds and think about their next path. Night Sorrow flew in the Scarlet Night Realm to investigate. He caught a cultivator from the Scarlet Night Realm and used the Soul Illusion Realm to influence his soul. He found some information. Just as he estimated, this alternate space was an ancient world with a history of thousands of reincarnations. Normally, after 1,000 reincarnations, a supreme world would fall to a sub-supreme world. After another 1,000 reincarnations, it would shatter. After shattering, it would form some small worlds. These small worlds didn't have much spiritual energy and weren't suitable for cultivation. However, these small worlds would be close to other realms and worlds. By plundering, the cultivators of this kind of small world could also rise up. This kind of small world had existed for a long time, and it did not have the crisis of a great calamity like other worlds. Over time, it became the ancient world that the people of the Heaven Realm spoke of. After probing the Spirit Sea memories of a few cultivators, Night Sorrow understood quite a bit about the Scarlet Night Realm. The Scarlet Night Realm was very strong. The first commander of the Scarlet Night Realm was a divine soul unity realm cultivator of the tribulation of the 9 emperors, while the second commander was a tribulation of the 8 emperors. This was Night Sorrow's evaluation of the Scarlet Night world. After discovering this information, Night Sorrow informed Tran Hung, and his doppelganger continued to investigate. Tran Hung called King Yawu and the Grand Elder back. Then, they held a meeting of the Council of Elders. There are tribulation of the 9 emperors in the Crimson Night Realm. Other than the City Lord and King Yawu, the rest of the people in the Celestial Realm can't handle it. Long Yixing said. The news about Night Sorrow had brought a lot of pressure to everyone. The opponent is very strong. If it weren't for the Demon-Winged Clan, we wouldn't be afraid of anything. Now, no matter who we fight, the Demon-Winged Clan will bite us if our strength is damaged, Tran Hung said. Is there any possibility of negotiation? The Grand Elder looked at Tran Hung and King Yawu and asked. It's almost impossible. The situation in the ancient world isn't very good. They have a long history, but the lack of resources is a drawback. When they discover new realms and new worlds, they will definitely take action. They will ruthlessly plunder and kill any life they see. The crystal cores of cultivators are all resources that they want, Tran Hung said. He knew a little about the ancient world and knew how it worked. That's really a big problem. The Golden Dragon King shook his head. What should we do? The problem is, what should we do now? How should we deal with it? Lin Yuanjun, the leader of the White Tiger clan, asked. Negotiation is very difficult. The opponent won't let go of the opportunity to plunder resources, but I will still try. At the very least, I have to let them know our attitude. Peaceful coexistence is the best. If we can't just fight, they have the mentality to fight for resources. We also have the determination to fight to the end in the celestial realm, Tran Hung said. First C%, alright, the city lord will go negotiate. We will prepare for war. When I come back, who will guard the Sea of Reincarnation? The Grand Elder looked at the leaders of the mythological beast clan and asked. In the celestial realm, other than the three leaders, Lu Qi and the other leaders of the mythological beast clans were the strongest. Now that Lu Qi wasn't here, the Grand Elder hoped that someone would stand up. Then I will go. Long Yixing, one of the Azure Dragons, said. This is my communication crystal. If there is a battle, notify me immediately. King Yowu gave his communication crystal to Long Yixing. Lord. It's been too long since Yowu's city teleported here. Long Yixing said. King Yowu shook his head and then told his plan. He planned to guard Tianhuang's city and let Shiryu watch over Yowu's city. If that's the case, I will guard the entrance. The Grand Elder said. After the arrangements were made, everyone started to move. In the Nine Realms world, Knight Soro's Nine Realms body told Mo Tianji about the appearance of the Crimson Sky realm. There will be many twists and turns in the last era of the sovereign world. It's all a catastrophe. One mistake and the world will be turned upside down. However, the 100 clans of the celestial realm are quite strong now. There shouldn't be too much risk. Mo Tianji said. There's nothing we can do about it. The opponent is very strong. We don't dare to consume too much during this period. Also, we have to hurry up with the World Tree. Knight Sorrow was a little conflicted now. Everything had come together. Let's see the result of the negotiation first. If they really want to fight, I can go with you and wipe out their top forces first. Mo Tianji said. Let's see how it goes. Knight Sorrow said. While Knight Sorrow's body was investigating the situation, he also obtained a map from the Crimson Sky Realm's cultivators. The Crimson Sky Realm was quite strong, but it wasn't too big. It was just a medium-sized world. When Knight Sorrow returned to the entrance of the space passage, he saw Tran Hung, the Golden Dragon King, and Lu Qi were all there. Knight Sorrow, watch this place. I'll go in and take a look. Tran Hung said. Knight Sorrow took out the map, then engraved a copy and handed it to Tran Hung. Everyone, get ready for battle. If there's really going to be a battle, inform King Yowu to come here. We'll end it quickly and kill their 2 high-level Tribulation Emperor cultivators. The rest can be cleaned up later. Tran Hung left after saying that. Sister Xian Er, help me send someone to inform the First Army and the God-slaying team to come here. Knight Sorrow was ready for battle. Lin Piaomiao sent Lin Qixing to do this. She knew that Knight Sorrow was preparing for battle. Is the Nine Realms world stable? The Grand Elder asked. Chapter 22:16. Knight Sorrow took out spirit stones and began to set up the formation. No matter how the negotiations went, whether they would fight or not, the defensive formation had to be set up. Knight Sorrow had this awareness. Seeing Knight Sorrow set up the formation, King Yowu nodded. Night Sorrow was already very thoughtful. At this time, in front of the Scarlet Sky Realm's Scarlet Sky City, Tran Hung and the higher-ups of the Scarlet Sky Realm were confronting each other. You are the representative of the Celestial Realm. I am the Realm Lord of the Scarlet Sky Realm, Yu Qing. I will tell you clearly that the Scarlet Sky Realm will not compromise with any forces. If there is a war, we will fight, Yu Qing said. Yu Qing looked like a young man, but his actual age was 9 years. He did not have much lifespan left. If he wanted to obtain opportunities, he naturally had to fight. His position as Realm Lord was different from that of Night Sorrow. He obtained it with power and strength. He used his strength to suppress other cultivators and obtain the right to rule. If you think the Scarlet Sky Realm can do it, then let's fight. This is your fate. Tran Hung snorted coldly. Then, his body became blurry and he left. Realm Lord, why didn't you stop him? A middle-aged man asked. He is a Divine Soul Unity Realm cultivator and is not in our attack range. If he wants to leave, it will be difficult for us to stop him. Yu Qing shook his head. Tran Hung was not in his attack range. It would be useless even if he attacked. The middle-aged man nodded. He was the Vice Realm Lord of the Scarlet Sky Realm, Tang Bing. He was second only to Yu Qing in the Scarlet Sky Realm. He also needed resources to improve himself. The battle of the Scarlet Sky Realm was in everyone's interest. Tran Hung left. This time, he did not plan to attack. He was here to negotiate. The next time they met, he would kill him openly. It was very troublesome to set up a formation. The first army of the Heaven Wasteland Army and the God-slaying team were all here. Night Sorrow's formation was still being set up. Tran Hung returned, but Night Sorrow's formation was not finished. The group of people followed Night Sorrow and accompanied Night Sorrow to set up the formation. At the same time, they studied the next battle tactics. City Lord, how about we deal with them directly? Tell King Yowu to come over and kill their higher-ups. As for the people below, we can slowly eliminate them. This way, the City Lord and King Yowu won't be delayed when they return to Tianhuang City. This way, the Demon Wing clan won't dare to act recklessly, the Golden Dragon King said. The plan is feasible. As of now, this news has yet to be exposed. The Demon Wings race doesn't know about it yet. Before the Demon Wings race finds out and reacts, we have to settle the overall situation. Chen Huang said. After nearly half a month, Night Sorrow finished setting up the array formation. He used Monarch Spirit Stones in the key positions. After setting up the array formation, he handed it over to the Great Elder and Lu Qi. Night Sorrow, you can't be here now. We will take care of things here. You still have an important mission. Take that person, Imperial Concubine of the Ice Phoenix race, and the God-slaying team to that place. The success or failure of that place has far-reaching significance. I am worried that the appearance of the Scarlet Night World will cause other ancient worlds to surface. Tran Hung looked at Night Sorrow who had finished setting up the formation. Okay. But what about the specific location? Night Sorrow looked at Tran Hung. Tran Hung handed Night Sorrow a map. I can only rely on you. One more thing. The person you want to approach the World Tree must be the original body. Also, I feel that this is an opportunity for you to break through and improve. You can do whatever you want. Night Sorrow was shocked. Tran Hung was the City Lord of Heaven Wasteland City. She would not speak without thinking. After putting away the map, Night Sorrow nodded at Lin Piaomiao. Be careful. Equals most TT new chapter G section W above, you too. Think more about everything. Don't take risks. Lin Piaomiao reminded Night Sorrow. She was also worried. Night Sorrow brought the god-slaying team to Night Moon Villa. His original body had also rushed over from Heaven Wasteland City. Mo Tianji, who had received Night Sorrow's 9 Realms doppelganger's message, had also arrived. Mo Tianji's face was covered with a white veil. Take a rest. We will set off when Imperial Concubine arrives. Night Sorrow invited Mo Tianji to Night Moon Villa's waterside pavilion for tea and rest. He began to study the map of the ancient world where the World Tree was. This ancient world was named World Tree by Tran Hung. It was a desolate world. Although there was no world origin, there was plenty of world origin energy because of the World Tree. Tran Hung had studied the World Tree for a period of time but couldn't find a way to approach it. In addition, when Tran Hung first discovered the World Tree, it was still very quiet. There were no cultivators. But later on, there were sporadic cultivators. This was also the reason why Tran Hung hurriedly told Night Sorrow to give up the war with Scarlet Night Realm and rush to the World Tree. He was afraid that there would be problems. The World Tree could protect the Celestial Realm. Even after a Supreme Realm, it wouldn't be destroyed. This had a profound meaning. While Night Sorrow was studying the map, Wu Lingfei arrived at Night Moon Villa. Wu Lingfei hadn't been in the Celestial Realm these years. She had been staying in the ancestral land of the Ice Phoenix race. Using the accumulation of the Ice Phoenix race's immortal shell and time acceleration, she had rapidly increased her cultivation. She was already at the Heavenly Tao 7 Emperor Tribulation. Imperial Concubine. Seeing Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow smiled from the bottom of his heart. Wu Lingfei was his closest relative before he found his family. She still was. Night Sorrow, I'm here. Wu Lingfei sat down next to Night Sorrow. Let me introduce you. This is the person I respect the most, and she's also my relative, Wu Lingfei. She's the Imperial Concubine of the Ice Phoenix race. I call her Aunt Fei. Aunt Fei, this is my good friend, the Heavenly Concubine of the 9 Regions world. Yi Shang introduced Wu Lingfei and Mo Tianji. Hello, I am Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei nodded at Mo Tianji. The appearance is born from the heart. The kindness in the eyes can penetrate the bottom of one's heart. Night Sorrow's Imperial Concubine is indeed not simple. I am Heavenly Concubine. Mo Tianji held the sword in her left hand and cupped her right hand. You are too polite. Night Sorrow doesn't have many friends and even fewer good friends. It can be seen that he recognizes you very much. Wu Lingfei smiled. Don't be so polite. Imperial Concubine is from the 9 Realms world and so is Heavenly Concubine. We are all on the same side. This time, we will fight side by side in the world of trees. Night Sorrow said after pouring tea for the two. Then Night Sorrow told Wu Lingfei about the World Tree and its importance. So important. Then if we get it, will we give it to the Celestial Realm? Or the 9 Realms world? Wu Lingfei directly said her thoughts. Are all people from the 9 Realms world like this? Mo Tianji smiled. We will talk about it after we get it. We have to hurry and get it done before the world of trees is discovered. Night Sorrow said. Chapter 22:17. The location of the realm of trees was something that Night Sorrow did not expect. It was near the evil Punisher grounds in the Misty Dynasty, which was where the ghost ancestor's soul once resided and where Xiao Gu was born. Night Sorrow led the group to the entrance of the realm of trees. There was a ceiling formation at the entrance, which was set up by Tran Hung. Tran Hung did not tell Night Sorrow about the ceiling formation. He knew that it was difficult for others, but not for Night Sorrow. It's here. I've been here before, Night Sorrow said as he began to break the ceiling formation. After a while, the ceiling formation stopped working. Night Sorrow let everyone in and started the sealing formation again. He did not want other foreign races to enter the celestial realm. The celestial realm was already troublesome enough. If more trouble came, they would be in a terrible fix. The vicissitudes of time are very strong. Even the aura of the heaven wasteland domain cannot compare, Enchanting said after entering the realm of trees. Although the vicissitudes of time are very strong, the spiritual chi here is very strong, and there is a different kind of vitality, Wu Lingfei added. Night Sorrow nodded. This is the ancient aura of the world tree. Tianyu, Yi Mei, you two will be the scouts. Tianyu and Yi Mei cupped their hands at Night Sorrow and set off. Both of them were good at speed and were the best candidates for scouts. Night Sorrow's original body commanded the group, and his doppelganger could also be the scout. However, as the leader, it was not suitable for him to go. It would make the god-slaying team look weak, which would be a blow to their morale. After advancing for half a day, Enchanting felt that something was wrong. This aura is not right. There is a bloody aura. It's different from when we first entered. It seems that I'm not the only one who feels this way, Wu Lingfei said. Yes, I feel it too. Something might have changed. Let's move quickly. There is still half a day's journey. Night Sorrow rubbed his nose. After advancing for another hour, Tianyu returned. Leader, there are traces of foreign races ahead. Tianyu reported. In private, Tianyu called Night Sorrow 13th brother, but when the group went out to battle, he called him leader. At this time, Yi Mei, who was scouting in another direction, also returned. Too terrifying. Luckily, my illusion technique was effective and I wasn't discovered. There's an army of foreign races in front of us. They are too terrifying. Yi Mei's face was slightly pale. With Yi Mei's explanation, everyone knew what was going on. Yi Mei had found out that the alien races were very ugly. They all had big mouths that reached their ears, three-edged tails with scales, and spikes on their backs. This is the demon scorpion race recorded in the history books. They are incomparably brutal, and their innate talent is devouring. We absorb the energy of heaven and earth for our own use, but they rely on devouring. They eat ores, spirit stones, other cultivators, and absorb the energy from their food to cultivate. Therefore, brutality is in their nature. If you are defeated or killed by them, not even your bones will remain. Enchanting was very knowledgeable. She was able to confirm the other party's identity through Yi Mei and Tianyu's description. That means this is going to be a battle to the death. Team, stay here. Night Sorrow ordered the group. Tightening the samsara halberd on his back, Night Sorrow nodded to Enchanting and Wu Lingfei. I'll go take a look. The group is in a safe zone. I'll go with you, Enchanting said. Yes, it's more suitable for Tianji to go with you. Wu Lingfei nodded. Okay. Long Jin, Lin Chuan, take care of your brothers. Night Sorrow said to Long Jin and Lin Chuan. Then, he left with Enchanting. On the way, Enchanting told Yi Shang about the strengths and weaknesses of the demon scorpion race. The demon scorpion race had a powerful body, but their weakness was that their soul power was slightly weaker. The so-called slightly weaker referred to the fact that they were not good at soul attacks. However, there was a mark on their skulls that could block soul attacks. It looks like we're too slow. The ancient world's cultivators have found the world of trees. The secret of the world tree can't be hidden anymore. We have to hurry. Otherwise, it'll get harder and harder, Night Sorrow said. Enchanting nodded. She knew about Night Sorrow's leadership skills. She was impressed. She hadn't been in the Nine Zones world for long, but she'd heard a lot about Night Sorrow when she was drinking tea in the tea house and strolling on the streets. After a while, Night Sorrow and Enchanting found the demon scorpion race. Their soul power was strong. They avoided the demon scorpion race and checked the situation. The other two also saw the world tree from afar. However, they couldn't see it clearly. The world tree was too big. Because they had to hide from the demon scorpion race, Night Sorrow and Emotianji were far away. They could only see the tree crown. They couldn't see the trunk. Not good. Let's go. Emotianji pulled Night Sorrow and started to fly. Night Sorrow didn't understand, but he knew Emotianji had her reasons. He didn't resist and let Emotianji pull him along. I sensed something. It's a cultivator from the tribulation of the 9 emperors. There's also a weaker one. They're chasing us. Emotianji's expression was serious. Can we kill them? Night Sorrow asked. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. How? There are 2 of them. One is a 9 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. It's not a problem to deal with me. The other one's aura is much stronger than yours. He should be a 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. How do you think we should kill them? Emotianji said. We can kill them. Why can't we? Night Sorrow thought for a while and came up with an idea. How do you think we should kill them? If I think we can, we'll fight. If not, we'll have to run first. Emotianji said. She didn't want to take Night Sorrow with her. She wasn't worried about herself. She was worried about Night Sorrow. When we meet later, we'll work together and kill the 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator. Then, you can deal with the strongest one. I'll watch the show. I guess I'll heal myself. Night Sorrow said. This is a race against time. Let's see if the 9 Emperor Tribulation cultivator kills you first or if I kill the 7 Emperor Tribulation cultivator first. It's a challenge for me, but it's even more stressful for you. If you're not careful, you'll die. Emotianji looked at Night Sorrow and said. If we have to fight, we'll fight. If we have the chance, we'll kill them. The main thing is that we have to race against time. If we can kill their leader, we'll be able to change the situation and gain the upper hand, Ishan said. All right. If you want to go crazy, I'll go crazy with you. Let's see if we can do it. Emotianji's fighting spirit was ignited by Night Sorrow's attitude. Ha! We can definitely do it. If we run a little further, we'll hide and get ready. If they come, we'll kill them. Night Sorrow said. After running for a while, Night Sorrow cast a spatial crack in front of them. Without needing Night Sorrow to say anything, Emotianji brought Night Sorrow into the spatial turbulence. The 2 of them were going to set up an ambush. Chapter 22:18. When Night Sorrow tore open the spatial rift, Emotianji understood what Night Sorrow meant. He wanted her to hide in the turbulent flow of space and ambush her there. This was the best way to hide and ambush her. E*J*Ty, all this time, you've always defeated those stronger than you. Not only are you strong, but you're also smart. Emotianji said. She understood that the losses she suffered at the hands of Night Sorrow in the past were not for nothing. Night Sorrow's fighting style was too wild. He dared to do what he thought. The chief of the demon scorpion race, Xia Kuang, and the great elder, Xia Li, sensed Emotianji's aura and chased after her. However, after a while, the aura disappeared. They followed the aura to where Yishang and Emotianji entered the spatial turbulence. That's enough, kill. Night Sorrow roared as his doppelganger emerged from his body. Then, he used space crack and 2 soul-extinguishing slashes. While Night Sorrow was making his move, Emotianji's body flashed out of the spatial rift. Then, her precept domain pressed down on Li Xia. The plan was to kill Li Xie first. Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash was also aimed at Li Xie. When Mo Tianji moved, Night Sorrow's original body and avatar cast their precept domains within Mo Tianji's precept domain. Then, they used different combat skills. His original body's primordial obliteration slash and his avatar's reincarnation true dragon art attacked Xie Li at the same time. Damn it! Xie Li growled. His Dao domain had been suppressed greatly. At the same time, an illusion appeared in his divine sea. Although he knew that it was an illusion, he immediately fell into it after struggling out of it. Night Sorrow's soul-extinguishing slash could not break through his spirit sea, but the illusions continued to attack his spirit sea. Mo Tianji's sword qi pierced through Li Xie's chest. Night Sorrow's samsara halberd was not as fast as Mo Tianji, so it was blocked by the saber in Li Xie's right hand. However, Night Sorrow's samsara halberd's destruction attribute and primordial destruction cut destroyed part of Li Xie's weapon and broke the tendons in his right arm. Don't worry about anything else. Keep killing. Night Sorrow shouted when he saw that Mo Tianji, who had killed Scorpion Li, was going to fight Scorpion Kuang. At the same time, his avatar flashed and used the spacetime realm. Then, he used the true reincarnation dragon art to attack Scorpion Kuang. Mo Tianji's eyes were filled with shock because Night Sorrow was using himself to buy time for Mo Tianji to kill Xie Li. Anyone who stands in my way will die. Seeing that Scorpion Li had been injured, Scorpion Kuang became anxious and charged toward Night Sorrow. At this time, Night Sorrow's body flashed again and used the spacetime realm again. When Scorpion Kuang's saber light swept past, he appeared again. The true reincarnation dragon art changed into the primordial destruction cut and stabbed toward Scorpion Kuang's chest. Night Sorrow's most powerful combat skill was the primordial destruction cut that had not been perfectly integrated. If the primordial destruction cut had been perfectly integrated, Night Sorrow would have studied the real true reincarnation dragon art. Now, the true reincarnation dragon art was just a combat skill supported by reincarnation energy. In terms of profound, it was different from the primordial destruction cut. Scorpion Kuang's expression changed. He could feel that the primordial destruction cut could threaten him. Immediately, he changed his saber technique into a horizontal slash to block Night Sorrow's attack. Seeing Scorpion Kuang's horizontal slash, Night Sorrow's blood-Kirin evil-slaying spear trembled. Energy burst out and blasted towards Scorpion Kuang. Normally, Night Sorrow would not fight Scorpion Kuang head-on at this time. He would definitely be at a disadvantage. However, in order to buy time for Mo Tianji and his original body, he had to fight even if he was injured. At this time, Scorpion Li's doppelganger had appeared. Night Sorrow's original body was carrying Scorpion Li's doppelganger while Mo Tianji was attacking Scorpion Li's original body, which had been severely injured by the two of them. Scorpion Li's original body could not hold on any longer. He had been severely injured the moment Night Sorrow and Mo Tianji appeared. Scorpion Li's doppelganger did not want to fight Night Sorrow's original body. He wanted to take on Night Sorrow's doppelganger and let Scorpion Kuang support his original body. Although he was a tribulation of 7 emperors and his life level had evolved and his soul was stable, who was Mo Tianji? She was a tribulation of 9 emperors and had a taboo attribute. Scorpion Li's body had been damaged and half of his soul had been destroyed. He would die if he continued fighting. Since Scorpion Li's doppelganger was unwilling to fight Night Sorrow's original body, Night Sorrow's original body was under less pressure. While restraining Scorpion Li's doppelganger, he threw out the human emperor's seal and activated the fire of merit to envelop Scorpion Li's original body. He did not give Scorpion Li's soul a chance to escape. At the same time, he controlled the soul extinguishing slash to constantly affect the soul of Scorpion Li's original body. The battle was intense. Both sides were racing against time because every moment could change the outcome of the battle. Mo Tianji did not hold back at all. She suppressed Scorpion Lee with her precept domain and attacked him crazily. Night Sorrow's doppelganger was not optimistic either. However, he was in a better situation than Scorpion Lee. Scorpion Lee's precept domain was suppressed, so were his movements and attacks. On the other hand, Scorpion Kwang's precept domain could not suppress Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow could still resist Scorpion Kwang's attacks with his precept domain. However, he would be injured every time he blocked an attack. Hold on. You need a little more time. A little more time. Mo Tianji cheered Night Sorrow on in her heart. She kept waving the long sword in her hand. Streaks of sword chi entered Scorpion Lee's body and destroyed it continuously. Explode! Scorpion Lee roared when he felt that his body could not hold on any longer. His original body was about to self-destruct. He wanted to give his soul a chance to survive. Kill! Night Sorrow's original body's soul extinguishing slash did not attack Scorpion Lee's doppelganger. Instead, he and his doppelganger's soul extinguishing slash went for Scorpion Lee's original body. At the same time, Mo Tianji's soul attack bombarded Scorpion Lee's original body's divine sea. The demon scorpion race's skull was sturdy, but the soul attack's influence was still there. The soul attack hit his soul without any gap, stopping his self-destruction and his body's movements. Mo Tianji seized the opportunity and slashed out with her right hand, splitting Xiao Li's head from the middle. When Scorpion Lee's extremely weak soul floated out of the divine sea, Night Sorrow's fire of merit pounced on it and enveloped it. Slash again. Mo Tianji stabbed her sword into the fire of merit and shook violently. Annihilated. Scorpion Lee's original body's soul was burned by the fire of merit. Coupled with Mo Tianji's sword, it was completely annihilated. Scorpion Lee's doppelganger spat out a mouthful of blood. The death of his original body hurt him greatly. At the same time, Mo Tianji attacked Scorpion Lee's doppelganger. Night Sorrow's original body used the space-time realm and rushed toward the doppelganger and Scorpion Kwang's battlefield. His doppelganger had already been hit. The doppelganger's right hand that was holding the spear had been injured twice. The doppelganger's energy circulation had become sluggish. If his original body did not help, his doppelganger would be killed passively. He was not as strong as Scorpion Lee. After all, Scorpion Lee's level was higher than his. Night Sorrow's original body used the spacetime realm. When he reappeared, he was right in front of his doppelganger and used the primordial shattering slash. Scorpion King slash. Scorpion Kwang was furious. He could not accept the fact that Scorpion Lee's original body had been slashed in front of him. With an explosion, Night Sorrow's original body was sent flying backward. At the same time, Night Sorrow's doppelganger held the Bloodkirin evil-slaying spear in his left hand and pounced again. You must die. Scorpion Kwang slashed with his saber again. Chapter 22:19. Come on. Night Sorrow's true body took a deep breath, suppressing his surging chi and blood, and charged towards Scorpion Kwang again. The battle turned into a 2-on-1 battle. Night Sorrow's human emperor's seal enveloped Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger, while Mo Tianji's fire of merit enveloped Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger in her precept domain. Scorpion Kwang's doppelganger became a target and was constantly injured by Mo Tianji. His injuries accumulated rapidly. Night Sorrow's true body and doppelganger unleashed their strongest state and kept charging towards Scorpion Kwang. Every time he attacked, he would use the spacetime realm to dodge Scorpion Kwang's blade aura. Then, he would fight Scorpion Kwang head-on, preventing him from supporting Scorpion Kwang. Night Sorrow was also in a miserable state. Both his true body and doppelganger were injured. The corners of his mouth and his robes were covered in blood. Of course, these injuries were not caused by Scorpion Kwang's attacks. Most of them were caused by the impact of energy. Knight Sorrow had used the human Dao ceremonies Tao Te Ching to enhance his merit Daoist body. Otherwise, his body would have been shattered by Scorpion Kwang's attacks. Scorpion Kwang was very annoyed. He kept slashing at Knight Sorrow with his blade and kept approaching the battle between Mo Tianji and Scorpion Kwang. Mo Tianji was no fool. She suppressed Scorpion Kwang and kept retreating. Sometimes she even sent Scorpion Kwang flying, not giving him a chance to get close. When Knight Sorrow was sent flying again and his true body and doppelganger were no longer able to fight, Mo Tianji also finished her last attack and killed Scorpion Kwang, who was controlled by the fire of merit. She took Scorpion Kwang's spoils and charged toward him. She knew that Knight Sorrow's situation was not good. His internal organs were severely injured, and all 4 arms of his true body and doppelganger were broken. Knight Sorrow was risking his life to buy time for her to kill Scorpion Kwang. "Be careful, heavenly concubine!" Knight Sorrow shouted. The Haotian pagoda appeared and flew toward Mo Tianji. His true body and doppelganger also flashed into it. Trying to run. Xia Kuang reached out with his left hand to capture the Haotian pagoda. However, the Haotian pagoda was flying toward Mo Tianji. As soon as he controlled the pagoda to fly, Mo Tianji arrived. She grabbed the Haotian pagoda with her left hand and put it in her clothes. Then, she started to fight with Xia Kuang. Inside the clear heaven pagoda, Yishang's true body and clone separated. Yishang's true body entered the highest level of time acceleration to speed up his recovery. His clone controlled the human emperor's seal to float above Xia Kuang's head with the human emperor's seal, suppressing him. Mo Tianji waved her long sword, not giving Xia Kuang a chance to break the human emperor's seal. Scorpion Kwang was filled with anger and hatred. He was suppressed by the human sovereign seal and his strength had decreased. Mo Tianji was stronger than him and did not give him the chance to break the human sovereign seal. As the battle continued, Knight Sorrow watched intently. It was a blessing for any cultivator to be able to witness a battle at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Many of the battles were the quintessence that cultivators yearned for even in their dreams. Of course, whether or not they could understand the battle was another matter. Cultivators at the King realm could not see it clearly. Cultivators at the Imperial realm could not understand it either. Knight Sorrow was naturally not a problem. He could fight with cultivators at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Naturally, nothing could be hidden from him. Aren't you going to heal your injuries? A battle like this cannot be decided in a short time. Only when the damage accumulates to a certain extent can it affect the battle strength. Only then can the battle result be determined. Mo Tianji's voice penetrated the clear sky pagoda. It's a rare opportunity to learn. My injuries have stabilized. I'm not in a hurry. Knight Sorrow shook his head. He watched while recalling the enlightenment he had just gained. When he was fighting with Scorpion Kwang just now, the energy of the beginning of destruction / was constantly scattered. However, the scattered energy was mixed into one. The imperfect fusion had a point of connection. This gave Knight Sorrow a direction to continue his deduction. Knight Sorrow recalled Tran Hung's words. This might be the opportunity for him to break through the bottleneck. Of course, this opportunity did not come easily. Not everyone had the courage to dance on the tip of a blade like Knight Sorrow. This was because one careless mistake could lead to death. It was a battle under high pressure. Mo Tianji praised Knight Sorrow in her heart. Her admiration for him increased. First of all, Knight Sorrow's control of the battle situation was on point. Second, his personal ability. Since ancient times, no cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 4 emperors dared to say that they could withstand a few moves from a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. This was because they were too fragile. A single energy bombardment from a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors could shatter the body of a cultivator at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. However, Knight Sorrow had withstood it. He was only injured. His origin and foundation were not damaged. This was too rare. It was a wise choice to give up on other things and watch the battle carefully. It was not easy to see a battle between cultivators at the level of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Knight Sorrow watched the battle while recording it with a crystal bowl. This was because he would analyze it later. This was also the path he would take in the future. Mo Tianji and Scorpion Kuang's battle lasted for a long time. After a day, Scorpion Kuang's combat strength had only decreased. Even if he was hit by 2 sword chi, Mo Tianji could not completely suppress him. However, Knight Sorrow knew that Scorpion Kuang would go downhill soon. His condition would deteriorate and he would be injured more and more. He would enter a cycle of nausea. When the injuries and energy reached a certain level, the outcome would be decided. Scorpion Kuang wanted to retreat, but Mo Tianji was too fast. Every time Scorpion Kuang tried to dodge, he would be intercepted by her. Tianji, you used to be famous. It's not baseless. Amazing. Knight Sorrow praised Mo Tianji. It's still too early, Mo Tianji replied. Knight Sorrow's main body was recovering. At the same time, he was researching the beginning annihilation /. Although the low level of the peerless attribute was a huge factor, Scorpion Kuang's powerful impact had scattered the energy of the beginning annihilation /. It had shaken them into one, giving Knight Sorrow an opportunity to make a breakthrough. At noon the next day, Scorpion Kuang's Dantian had been hit by Mo Tianji's sword. His condition had deteriorated and he was completely suppressed by Mo Tianji. Knight Sorrow knew that the outcome was about to be decided. However, it was hard to say if Mo Tianji could kill him. After all, the cultivators of the tribulation of the 9 emperors had many tricks up their sleeves. Mo Zhantian's escape from the celestial realm was an example. What are you thinking about? Mo Tianji's soul power had been paying attention to the clear sky pagoda. She noticed that Knight Sorrow was thinking and asked. If he burns his essence blood or soul power to escape, don't compete with him. It's not worth it to damage your origin, Knight Sorrow reminded Mo Tianji. So that's what you're thinking about. My battle with him is different from the battle between your Uncle Master and Mo Zhantian. The demon-winged clan has a pair of wings on their back. They are naturally fast. In addition, Mo Zhantian is burning his essence blood and power of faith. Your Uncle Master naturally can't catch up to him. However, even if Scorpion Kuang burns his essence blood, his speed won't be much faster than mine. Do you think he can escape? Mo Tianji's voice was filled with confidence. Scorpion Kuang was suppressed and seriously injured. He let out a furious roar. At this moment, Knight Sorrow's main body stood up. His injuries had healed. He planned to fight again. He wanted to organize his thoughts on the fusion of the beginning annihilation / on Chapter 1 equals. Chapter 22:20. Damn bastard. Scorpion Kuang scolded. They were in a passive position. Although Mo Tianji was powerful, Knight Sorrow had played a key role. If Knight Sorrow had not tried his best to stop him, he could have attacked Mo Tianji with Scorpionly instead of Scorpionly being killed by Mo Tianji. In addition, if the human Emperor's seal had not been suppressing him, he would not have been in a passive position, which led to a vicious cycle. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation, you're the bastard. You're a Tribulation 9 Emperors who can't do anything to a Tribulation 4 Emperors. Mo Tianji was displeased to see Scorpion Kuang scolding Knight Sorrow. She hated it when a cultivator talked with his strength. After being scolded by Mo Tianji, Scorpion Kwang did not know how to fight back because Mo Tianji was right. He waved his saber angrily and attacked Night Sorrow's true body. Night Sorrow did not dodge at all. He was here to fight head-on and find an opportunity to break through the beginning's great destruction slash. Bang! With a muffled sound, the energy of Night Sorrow's beginning's great destruction slash was dispersed and his body was sent flying. However, Scorpion Kwang was not in a good condition either. Not only was he invaded by the beginning's energy, but his chest was also pierced by Mo Tianji's longsword. Again. Although the corner of his mouth was red and he was already injured, Sorrow's second attack came. After 2 clashes, Night Sorrow did not have the ability to fight again. He flashed into the Haotian pagoda to meditate and heal himself. Then, he continued to study the perfect fusion of the beginning's great destruction slash. Brainless. Scorpion Kwang scolded when he saw Night Sorrow running away with injuries. You're the dumbest one. Can't you see that he's using you as a whetstone? He's playing with you. Mo Tianji mocked Scorpion Kwang. Scorpion Kwang did not know Night Sorrow's intention, but how could Mo Tianji not know? Hearing Mo Tianji's words, Kwang Xia was very angry. He could only vent his anger on the battle. However, the situation was getting worse and worse. Mo Tianji's energy had reached a certain amount in his body and was constantly destroying it. Night Sorrow's main body was cultivating while recuperating from his injuries. His doppelganger was naturally recovering while watching the battle. The battle was still ongoing. Scorpion Kwang tried to escape by burning his essence blood, but even so, his speed was not at an advantage. Mo Tianji kept pestering him. In addition, when he burned his essence blood to fight, Mo Tianji would avoid him and fight conservatively. When he stopped burning his essence blood, Mo Tianji would come and attack him. She would not give him a chance to escape or catch his breath. As soon as Night Sorrow's main body recovered from its injuries, it came out to kill. After the second kill, Night Sorrow's main body flashed into the Haotian godly pagoda and laughed. After the last clash, his primordial shattering slash had truly completed the fusion and fulfilled the feeling of Tran Hung. While Night Sorrow was recuperating and cultivating, Scorpion Kwang was gradually losing. He was constantly suppressed by Mo Tianji's attacks and his body was full of holes. You won't have it easy either. Knowing that he could not hold on any longer, Scorpion Kwang roared and self-destructed. This time, Mo Tianji and Night Sorrow could not control it. After all, the soul of the tribulation of 9 emperors was too strong and would not be easily affected. At the critical moment, Mo Tianji grabbed the human emperor's seal in the air with her left hand and used her precept domain to protect herself. She floated back and avoided the energy impact of Scorpion Kwang's self-destruction. Then, she threw the human emperor's seal at Scorpion Kwang's soul like a hidden weapon. All of this happened in the blink of an eye. The human emperor's seal wrapped in Mo Tianji's energy hit Scorpion Kwang's soul. As Scorpion Kwang's soul trembled, the golden characters outside the human emperor's seal flashed. The fire of merit appeared and enveloped Scorpion Kwang's soul. Scorpion Kwang's soul kept cursing in the space, but Mo Tianji did not care. She slashed at Scorpion Kwang's soul in the fire of merit with her long sword. Night Sorrow, his main body, and his doppelganger also appeared. Although they were not in good condition, they could still use their spears. The Samsara halberd and the Blood-Kirin evil-slaying spear kept attacking Scorpion Kwang's soul in the fire of merit. After a while, Scorpion Kwang's soul dissipated. The battle is over. Just as you predicted, Mo Tianji said as she wiped the sweat off her forehead. She had been fighting for almost 3 days and it had been very tiring for her. You did well, Night Sorrow said to Mo Tianji with a smile. You did even better, Mo Tianji said. You killed the 2 of them. You were the most important part. She felt that it was very strange. When she was young, she had gone out to train and had teamed up with others before, but she had never cooperated so well with Night Sorrow. The two of them didn't even need to communicate to know how to cooperate and what the other was thinking. Haha. Drink a jar of wine and take a rest. Night Sorrow laughed. He was very excited and felt a sense of accomplishment after killing the cultivators from the tribulation of 7 emperors and tribulation of 9 emperors with Enchanting. What made him happiest was that he had successfully integrated the primordial destruction slash. Although it was still lacking, it would not be a problem after practicing for a while. Enchanting smiled. She felt that this kind of battle was the charm of diligent cultivation. The battle was incisive and it was the perfect combination of battle tactics and strength. After sorting out the spoils of war from Xia Kuang and Xia Li, Night Sorrow's eyes were full of disdain. They were too poor. Other than the limited refining materials, there was nothing good. Fortunately, these 2 crystal cores are not bad. Otherwise, killing them would be a hassle, Enchanting said as she threw the 2 crystal cores to Night Sorrow. Keep them for fun. The crystal cores of the cultivators from the tribulation of 9 emperors are the affirmation of your splendid battle record. Night Sorrow threw the crystal cores to Enchanting. That's true. It's hard to kill the cultivators from the tribulation of 9 emperors. These crystal cores are the glory. Enchanting nodded. You should carve the words Enchanting too, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Enchanting shook her head. In the celestial realm and the 9 domains world, the word Mo is hated and misunderstood. I will be called Heavenly Concubine from now on. It has nothing to do with Mo, Heavenly Concubine. That's a good name. Night Sorrow nodded and watched Heavenly Concubine carve the words on the crystal cores. After carving the words on the crystal cores, Night Sorrow and Heavenly Concubine rushed back to the camp. However, Night Sorrow's original body and doppelganger had entered the Clear Sky Pagoda to heal. His injuries weren't serious, but in this critical period, it was necessary to maintain peak combat strength. When Heavenly Concubine returned, Wu Lingfei and the others asked anxiously when they didn't see Night Sorrow. He's fine. He's a little injured and is healing. Heavenly Concubine took out the Clear Sky Pagoda and placed it on the table in the commander's tent. Are you okay? Wu Lingfei asked Heavenly Concubine. Thank you. I'm fine. Heavenly Concubine was stunned. She didn't expect Wu Lingfei to care about her. This feeling surprised her. It's good that you're fine. Let's not talk about our success or failure. First, everyone's safety, Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 22-21. You don't have to be so polite. We're going to fight side by side. Besides, Night Sorrow treats you as a friend, so I treat you the same. Wu Lingfei smiled and pushed the crystal core back. Since you treat me as a friend, then take it as a small accessory. Heavenly Concubine stuffed the crystal core into Enchanting's hand. Update. And new F latest 2 fast /_. This is a crystal core. The energy it contains is terrifying. And the words, they're very new. Wu Lingfei said in surprise after looking at the crystal core. It's a crystal core. Today, Night Sorrow and I work together to kill a cultivator. It's a milestone for me. I'm giving it to a friend who cares about me. It's very meaningful. Heavenly Concubine said. Then I'll take it. We're friends, so I can't reject good intentions. Wu Lingfei smiled and looked at the crystal core. 3 days later, Yi Shang, who had been recuperating inside the Clear Sky Pagoda for nearly half a year, had perfectly fused the beginning annihilation slash, and had fully recovered from his injuries, came out of his closed-door training. He was in high spirits at this time. He was very satisfied with the return of such a difficult battle. In the command tent, Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei were chatting. Wu Lingfei was also playing with the crystal core. Night Sorrow, how's your recovery? Wu Lingfei asked when she saw Night Sorrow appear. Very good. Not only did I gain from killing enemies, but I also gained from cultivation. This. Night Sorrow smiled and stretched his waist. Then, he saw the crystal core in Wu Lingfei's hand. Heavenly Concubine gave it to me. Does it look good? Wu Lingfei showed the crystal core to Night Sorrow. Of course it looks good. Not to mention the future, it should be the only one in the entire celestial realm right now. It's very meaningful. It's also a proof of Heavenly Concubine's cultivation path. I'll give it to you. It shows how good she is to you. Night Sorrow smiled. Wu Lingfei was stunned. After hearing Night Sorrow's words, she knew that the crystal core in her hand wasn't simple. It's the crystal core of the tribulation of the 9 emperors. Killing the tribulation of the 9 emperors is a milestone for the Heavenly Concubine, Night Sorrow explained, seeing that Wu Lingfei didn't know. Heavenly Concubine, I can't take this. It's too important to you. After knowing the whole story and the meaning of this crystal core, Wu Lingfei handed it to the Heavenly Concubine. When you asked me if I was okay, we were friends. To me, this is very important. It's just a gift. Just accept it. The Heavenly Concubine smiled. Don't you still have the tribulation of the 7 emperors? Give that to me and keep this one. Wu Lingfei still insisted, but in a different way. Heavenly Concubine, then let's do as my Aunt Fei says. That's not bad either. Night Sorrow said with a smile. The Heavenly Concubine nodded and took out Xia Li's crystal core. She engraved a few words on it and gave it to the Spirit Concubine. She signed it as the Heavenly Concubine. I like this one. Wu Lingfei smiled. Has there been any movement from the Demon Scorpion army in the past few days? Night Sorrow asked. Wu Lingfei shook her head. There really hadn't been any movement in the past few days. We killed Xia Li's original body and doppelganger. Xia Kuang didn't have a doppelganger, so the news shouldn't have spread. Rest well, then we can take action. The Heavenly Concubine said. After drinking some water, Night Sorrow thought for a moment. It's not suitable for a large group to take action now. We don't know how many tribulation of the 9 emperors there are and how many cultivators can pose a threat to our group. We must first kill their high-level members, then move out and kill them. Okay. Then let's take the group with similar cultivation. Wu Lingfei asked. I'll go find Long Jin. Night Sorrow went out of the main tent and called Lin Chuan, Long Jin, Lin Yun, and Tianyu into the tent. He told them to gather the brothers above tribulation of the 9 emperors to fight later. Of course, there weren't many above tribulation of the 9 emperors. After the group was gathered, Night Sorrow explained the situation and let everyone feel the Heavenly Concubine's soul power. If there was a situation, they couldn't resist the pull of the Heavenly Concubine's soul power. This way, it would be easier for the Heavenly Concubine to rescue them. The members of the First Army and the God-slaying squad obeyed Night Sorrow's orders. Then, Night Sorrow told the rest of the group to wait. He, the Heavenly Concubine, Wu Lingfei, and Lin Chuan led a few others with decent cultivation to the encampment of the Demon Scorpion army. This time, they weren't going to scout. They were going to kill directly. The Demon Scorpion army had more than 10,000 people, but the members were mainly King and the Emperor. There weren't many tribulation of the 9 emperors, and even fewer tribulation of the 9 emperors. Massacre. Night Sorrow led the group to kill the upper echelons of the Demon Scorpion race. The weaker members of the Demon Scorpion race didn't dare to go forward. The difference in cultivation was too great. If they went forward, they would die. Therefore, Night Sorrow and the others weren't surrounded. They killed their way in and out of the demon-scorpion race. "Captain, call the others over. I feel like there's nothing wrong here," Long Jean shouted to Night Sorrow. "Whose clone or main body is in the encampment? Bring the troops over and kill them." Night Sorrow shouted behind him. Then, his clones and clones charged towards the demon-scorpion race from different directions. He didn't defend at all. Because of the suppression of the precept domain and his tyrannical body, those with lower cultivation couldn't pose a threat to him. After 10 minutes, the first army and the god-slaying team arrived. They began to kill the demon-scorpion race that had lost their will to fight. 4 hours later, the demon-scorpion race's troops were gone. Half of them had been killed, and the other half had run away. Night Sorrow led the group forward and found a special enchantment that he could enter. Heavenly Concubine and Willing Concubine could enter as well. The others who approached were pushed back by the impact of the energy. Tianyu, who didn't believe it, was almost injured. "It's the enchantment of the World Tree. We can't force our way in." "Alright, everyone set up camp here." Night Sorrow gave the order to set up camp. If they wanted to get close to the World Tree, they couldn't force their way in. Night Sorrow knew this. Tran Hung had already told him. If they could force their way in, Tran Hung and Scorpion Kwang would have gotten close. They wouldn't have waited for them to arrive. Night Sorrow looked at the World Tree in the distance. The World Tree was too big. Night Sorrow estimated that the World Tree covered an area with a radius of more than 10,000 miles. The central area was hazy and couldn't be explored. It was blocked by layers of space. "Night Sorrow, I tried just now. Although I can enter, the resistance is very strong. What about you?" Heavenly Concubine looked at Night Sorrow and asked. "At first, there was. When I activated the virtuous immortal body, which should be called the virtuous Tao body now, the pressure decreased," Night Sorrow said. Heavenly Concubine thought for a moment and said, "It seems that you still have a big advantage. The possibility of me getting close to Willing Concubine is lower." Chapter 22-22. They had just fought a battle. Although the battle wasn't very intense, everyone was exhausted. Every cultivator had the awareness to fight in their best condition. If they couldn't solve the problem in their best condition, then it was because they weren't strong enough. There was no regret. After everyone recovered, Night Sorrow let Wu Lingfei's doppelganger stay behind with Long Jean to command the team. He brought Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei's original body in. "Captain, be careful." Long Jean looked at Night Sorrow and said, "You'll have to work harder with the team. Safety comes first. Everything else is trivial," Yishan said to Long Jean. Long Jean nodded. After being brothers for so long, Long Jean understood Night Sorrow. He knew what Night Sorrow cared about the most. Tianyu, Yimei, Liangyu, cooperate with Long Jean. After Night Sorrow said that, he led Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei towards the barrier of trees. Then, the three of them passed through the barrier. The difference. They can go in, but we don't even have the right to. Ling Long sighed. Back in the day, she, Night Sorrow, and Yun Huang were the leaders of the younger generation in Tianji Tower. Now, there was a difference between her and Yun Huang, but it wasn't big. However, the difference between her and Night Sorrow was indescribable. "Let's not look at the captain. Let's look at the others. We're already doing very well," Lei Bao said with a smile. Ling Long nodded. In fact, there weren't many cultivators in the celestial realm who were stronger than Night Sorrow, let alone them. "Let's set up camp here. Also, let the spies out. We don't want other cultivators to suddenly appear and catch us off guard." That would be embarrassing, Long Jin said. Following Long Jin's arrangement, the team started to set up camp. The spies were also sent out. Safety came first. They weren't in the 9-domain world, and they weren't in the celestial realm. They had to be on guard. Imperial concubine, do you have any other arrangements? Long Jin looked at Wu Lingfei and asked. Whether it was the former members of the God-slaying team or those who had joined later, they all had a good relationship with Wu Lingfei and respected her greatly. You've done a good job. I'm not as good as you in these matters. You can make the decision. Wu Lingfei smiled. Everyone is worried about you. If anything happens, let us know. Long Jin nodded at Wu Lingfei. After Night Sorrow's trio entered the barrier, they started moving forward. Each of them had a different feeling. Night Sorrow, there's a lot of pressure. Wu Lingfei said. Should I try adding soul power into my domain? Night Sorrow said. He and the Heavenly Concubine had precept domains, while Wu Lingfei was at the Imperial Tribulation Realm and had yet to come into contact with precept domains. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Wu Lingfei did as she was told. When her soul force was added to the domain, the pressure was reduced. The so-called spirituality is mainly in the soul. Only by releasing your soul force can you display your spirituality to the fullest, Night Sorrow said. The Heavenly Concubine also released her soul force. Her cultivation was high, but the pressure had little to do with her cultivation. It mainly depended on her spirituality. The World Tree's suppression on her was also very strong. On the other hand, Night Sorrow was much better. At the beginning, he didn't use any defense. The World Tree's energy attacked his body, but it passed after a while. There was only a small amount of pressure. The Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei naturally saw Night Sorrow's situation. They knew that this was the power of merit. The Heavenly Tao and all living things recognized him. The World Tree was no exception. I really can't be envious. The Heavenly Concubine shook her head. Night Sorrow's path couldn't be copied by others. He had a good foundation. After having the foundation of a body of merit, he cultivated his body and virtue. He had been benefiting the living beings around him, causing his merit to constantly deepen. The three of them advanced very slowly. Night Sorrow's situation aside, Wu Lingfei and the Heavenly Concubine couldn't. They were greatly suppressed. Unspecified currency look. Regular A edition, K Super D/, there's no danger here. Let's move forward slowly, said Night Sorrow. It's not absolute. There are many life forms that covet the World Tree. Some of them are born with it. There's black and white in the world. Life forms are also opposites. The World Tree is a Holy Spirit object. It's very easy for it to be accompanied by something. It's definitely incomparably evil. If it's born with the World Tree, then it must be inside the World Tree barrier. We have to be careful, said the Heavenly Concubine. She had lived for 9 eras. 900 billion years was an extremely long time. Therefore, Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei couldn't compare to her. She understood some things. Then it seems that we have to be careful. Night Sorrow didn't expect this situation. Yes. The World Tree grows by absorbing the energy in the void. When it absorbs energy, it will also be absorbed by the life forms near it. Therefore, it will definitely grow quickly. We have to be careful. The appearance of the World Tree is a great opportunity, but it's also a great risk, said the Heavenly Concubine. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, he released his Merit Dao domain and wrapped it around the Heavenly Concubine and Wu Lingfei, hoping to reduce the pressure on them. In fact, the effect wasn't obvious. The energy in the World Tree barrier was like a wave that constantly slammed in all directions. Night Sorrow's Merit Dao domain was also permeated by this energy. This energy didn't suppress Night Sorrow, but it continued to suppress the heavenly concubine and Wu Fei. The world tree's spirituality is too strong. It has a natural ability to distinguish. Therefore, this kind of thing can't be hidden. It's just like how it can't be hidden from the spatial world, said the heavenly concubine. In the beginning, Night Sorrow had mentioned using a spatial treasure, but the heavenly concubine had clearly said that it couldn't be done. Spatial treasures couldn't resist the permeation of the world's origin power. It was the same principle as if someone used a spatial treasure to bring a cultivator who exceeded Night Sorrow's cultivation into the 9 regions world. It couldn't be hidden from detection. Now, Night Sorrow couldn't help Wu Fei and the heavenly concubine even if he wanted to. Then get behind me. My body can block some of the energy's repulsion. Night Sorrow took 2 steps forward and stood in front of Wu Fei and the heavenly concubine. It was effective. Because the energy in the world tree barrier was weak against Night Sorrow's body blocked it, and the power was greatly reduced. Heavenly concubine, the world tree can control such a vast amount of energy in the world tree barrier. How strong is she? Night Sorrow didn't quite understand because the energy in the world tree barrier was too vast and majestic. It's hard to say. She's naturally good at controlling power. You know my cultivation. Even if I force it, it's useless. I'll definitely be repelled. You see the wavy lines in front. They can fold space at any time. It's impossible to force it, explained the heavenly concubine to Night Sorrow. Chapter 22-23. Night Sorrow was in front, leading the heavenly concubine and Wu Fei forward. However, their speed was very slow. Even if they could withstand it, Night Sorrow couldn't ignore the energy suppression in the world of trees. While moving forward, Night Sorrow also released his soul power to investigate. The heavenly concubine said there was danger, so he had to be careful. After 2,000 miles, another obstacle appeared. It was a spatial barrier. It was the world tree's second line of defense. The first was the world of trees boundary, and the second was the overlapping space. Night Sorrow used his space-time power to tear open space and continue forward. After 3,000 miles, Night Sorrow saw the spatial barrier. After tearing it open, before Night Sorrow could continue forward, Wu Fei made Night Sorrow look back. When he looked back, Night Sorrow knew why Wu Fei was surprised. It was because through the wavy line, Night Sorrow saw the footprints he left when he tore open space. 3,000 miles is just a line. Night Sorrow turned to look at the heavenly concubine. Yes, this is the virtual space. It looks like a line to us, but it's not like that inside. It's the same principle as a storage ring. This is the world tree's defense method. If the world tree matures, then this virtual space will be infinitely large. This 3,000 miles is an immature method, said the heavenly concubine. Night Sorrow looked at the countless lines in front of him and felt a headache coming on. They were all spatial worlds. It was very difficult to pass through them. This is a difficult task in itself. The heavenly concubine shook her head at Night Sorrow. She was afraid that Night Sorrow would lose confidence. Night Sorrow continued forward with the heavenly concubine and Wu Fei. Night Sorrow didn't use any energy to protect himself. Now, he used his Merit Dao body to counteract the impact of the pressure. Heavenly concubine and Wu concubine, who were behind Yishang, felt less pressure. They knew that Yishang was doing this to lessen their pressure. If it wasn't for the fact that their chances would increase, they wouldn't have needed to follow. Night Sorrow, there are so many spatial lines. It's very difficult. Wu Fei said. I'll take care of this. If there's a fight, we'll fight together. Night Sorrow nodded to Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow kept rushing forward, crossing one spatial line after another. In reality, he had only advanced less than 1,000 miles. The World Tree's ability to control the world origin is too strong. It's very difficult to get close to it, Night Sorrow said as he flew. Although Night Sorrow felt pressure while flying, he felt that his body was very smooth. What was attacking his body was the world's origin energy. It was a baptism for his body, a rare opportunity. Of course, not just anyone could do it. The Heavenly Concubine and Wuling Concubine didn't dare to let this energy attack them. The world's origin energy was too tyrannical and would harm their bodies. Although it was difficult, Night Sorrow was very excited. He knew what the World Tree was and what it represented. Not to mention taking the whole tree, even taking a root was incredible. With such an opportunity in front of him, he naturally had to give it his all. As Night Sorrow flew forward, the Celestial Realm's 100 races and Scarlet Sky Realm's 100 races fought. The Celestial Realm's 100 races sent out all their elites and launched a thunderous attack on Scarlet Sky Realm. The main reason was to end the battle before the Demon Wing clan received the news. This way, they could focus on defending against the Demon Wing clan. In addition, Demon Wing clan's Enchanting had been chased by King Yawu and was severely injured. It would be difficult for him to recover in a short period of time. The Celestial Realm's 100 races elites, under the leadership of Tran Hung and King Yawu, did not use any strategy. They directly attacked Scarlet Sky City. Tran Hung fought with Yu Qing. King Yawu directly suppressed Tang Bing's attack. King Tian Xing, Blood Lin King, and White Tiger King directly slaughtered the other elites of Scarlet Sky Realm. After seeing the strength of the Celestial Realm's 100 races, Yu Qing's face changed. Shameless. You have such power. Why are you still talking about peace with us? In Yu Qing's mind, Tran Hung came to negotiate because they were not strong enough. Tran Hung was a tribulation of 9 emperors cultivator. It was difficult for a single person to make a boat. But now, it was not the case at all. I gave you a chance to coexist peacefully. But if you don't want to, then all of you can die. Tran Hung waved the long sword in his hand and began to suppress Yu Qing. $$ original Debutran Hung was the city lord of Heavenly Baron City. He was the leader of the 100 races of Celestial Realm. He was also the most powerful person. Yu Qing was suppressed directly. Tang Bing was a tribulation of 8 emperors cultivator. His strength was relatively strong, but he was not enough in front of King Yawu. King Yawu's 3 clones of tribulation of 9 emperors was cultivated as one. How could he resist? After the fight, King Yawu destroyed his original body in an instant. His clone realized that the situation was not good. It did not run far before it was restrained by White Tiger King. White Tiger King was not Tang Bing's opponent, but it could still restrain him. When Tang Bing repelled White Tiger King, King Yawu also caught up. What awaited Tang Bing was the fate of death. Tang Bing originally thought that discovering the Supreme World was an opportunity. He did not expect that it would be a dead end. King Yawu, who had killed Tang Bing, cooperated with Tran Hung, who had suppressed Yu Qing, and began to attack Yu Qing. This was a war, not a personal competition. So there was no face or morality. Knowing that the situation was not good, Yu Qing shouted, "Retreat. We, the Crimson Night Realm, will not invade your world in the future." Tran Hung and King Yawu did not speak, but the attacks in their hands were very fast. They could cooperate when the war was not started. Now that they had fallen out, the most important thing was to eliminate the threat. Yu Qing was not a match for either Tran Hung or King Yawu, let alone now that the two of them had joined forces. His situation was precarious. After a while, Tran Hung's sword cut off his left arm. Then, King Yowu's divine spear pierced through his back. A big hole was blasted from his shoulder to his chest. Knowing that he would die if he did not run, Yuqing used his soul to leave his body. He used the self-destruction of his flesh to escape. Break! Yuqing's soul ran very fast, but King Yowu's divine spear was even faster. The flying spear directly penetrated his soul, and more than half of his soul power was annihilated in one shot. I am irreconcilable with you, Empress Li said. Before Tran Hung and King Yowu arrived, Yuqing's soul flew away quickly again. We are not afraid of you when you are at your peak. Why would we be afraid of your soul without a body? If you dare to appear again, we will kill you. Tran Hung's voice rumbled in the space. It was a warning to Yuqing. Yowu, you take people to clean up here. I will go back to Tianhuang City first. It is too empty there. Tran Hung said. He still could not let go of Tianhuang City because it was the gateway to the war with the Demon Wing clan. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.